You still here, Jeremy? Brian B. Brian B, I'm gonna see if I can bring you up here. Okay? I never done it before. Oh golly, look at everybody. Hey, Big Mike, Lance, Steve Mosley. Man, it's snowing and been snowing and sleeting in West Mississippi. Too tough for me. Hey, God. What's wrong? You ain't celebrating New Year's, are you? Hey, Michael. Cold. It's cold in Mississippi. Too cold. Yeah, Mike, I'm 400 miles south of you. Yeah, I know you're going to get a lot of it. We just got a dose. But it didn't stick. I hadn't even been outside today. I've been in the house all day. I know it, Lance. I don't know if that's the way you do this or not. We'll see if that works. Is that how you do this? Is this how you invite somebody up here? Did I do that right? I don't know. Or let somebody come up here if they want to. Okay. Well, it's easier to do on the computer than it is on the telephone. Seems to me like. Well, it looked like it's snowing all across the northeast up there, or getting headed that way. I guess the river gonna go to no telling how high when this is over with. No telling how high. Well, I don't guess anybody went fishing today, did they? I saw that Chad went, him and his wife. Hey, real and virtual. Wasn't anybody else on. I decided I'd see if I could do this. I never have done it before on the computer. Yeah, we're fixing to get a bunch of water down here. What is it today? It's 23 feet today and it's going to 32.7. Hey, Potomac River monsters. All right, thank you. 32.7. Hey, Duggar. Boy, all you got to do is open a chat, open a window, and people will come. It's kind of like the field of dreams, isn't it? All right, Brian B, now tell me this. If somebody goes in the basement, where do I see it on the screen here? Or somebody tell me if anybody happens to want to come up here. Hey, Big Matt. Right under it? Heck, I can't see anything under there. Under it. Right under it. Huh? Oh, I may not be able to see it if it's going to be under it. Hey, Jersey. Andy A. Under your screen, my fault. Okay, what did I see? A red light or a blue dot, or what did I see? Just look and see something different. On your screen, yeah, I see all that. Jersey, you need to be duck hunting instead of fishing. There's a bunch of ducks right there where you were fishing this morning. Oh, that must have 31 degrees. Gonna be cold in Mississippi tonight. Lord have mercy, 25. Yeah, I heard the mallards. I heard that old hen over there. Quack, 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 quack. Oh, there it is. Okay, add the string.
There you go.
I got it, man.
I just came up so you can see how it worked.
You gonna keep on, and I'm gonna be a professional. Hey, Annette. Yeah, man.
I just came up so you can see how it worked.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'll come up shortly.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Chucky. Yeah, Brian B helping me out on the computer. He's been helping me since September, actually. Yeah, it's supposed to get down to 25 here tonight. Golly, that's cold for us. Hey, Rez. Tomorrow night, 25 too. Yo. High tomorrow, 42. Oh. Tuesday, 52. I don't know if I can handle all this cold. My feet freezing now. Well, it's snow. Lord have mercy. It looked like a bunch of Kentucky, Tennessee. Yeah, man. Nashville getting it. Not for me, Rhea. Not for me. Yeah, I bet it will. If it's getting 25 here, no telling how cold it's going to get up there. Snowing in Bowling Green all the way back south. Snow and ice. But I believe Lee Evans finna get some snow too. No, it might be going south of him. A lot of it. I guess for down here, this is the first major first storm we've had this year. Down this way. Nashville got hammered. Ice and snow all the way back, looked like back toward Memphis. Mm-hmm. That ain't good. Illinois is missing it, looks like. Don't look like it's getting above the Ohio River. Not even getting close to the Ohio River. till it gets way on over east. Hmm. Yeah, this kind of fishing here, this kind of weather here leaves me out. I have no use for it. None whatsoever. It's snowing in South Mississippi. Well, down around Jackson anyway. Hmm. Oh well, nothing we can do about it. Is Lance still in here? I wonder if he's gonna go ice fishing. He's always talking about those burbots, like that cold water. He ought to be getting some of it now. Yeah, and there's more coming your way, Hogleg. You see what the radar is snowing in Jackson, Mississippi right now, Hogleg. Hey, Hooks. Lance, do you put up one of those little tents, one of those little houses? Brian B., I wonder how many people Jody can take on that pontoon. I wouldn't mind going up there and flathead fishing. She seemed to be okay with it last night. About 9 hours for me. How far is it for you? I hope you feel better, Chris. You ain't got the COVID, do you? Or you still trying to get over New Year's Eve? Or both? Hey, mechanic. 205. Appreciate y'all coming by. Yeah, Hog Leg, I'm looking at the radar. Okay, just sick. What Hog Leg, what town are you, what big town are you close by? I'm trying to look at my radar. Well, this is you just wherever you, yeah, yeah, Albany. Oh yeah, I see you getting the weather. I've looked right at it. And this is just the first round. You got another band coming behind this one. It's still in Mississippi. Well, it's on the Mississippi Alabama line, kind of headed that way. It's not as bad as this one though. The one you got right now. Well, you just had some bad stuff go by. Okay, yeah. Well, uh, the guy that I really like that plays there, his name is Nick Brownell, Brownell, and he plays there on Sunday nights. About it's 8 o'clock my time, Central Time. Now he's really good. Now I'm telling you, he's a professional, real professional uh, entertainer. Now his language gets pretty rough sometimes, but he usually plays there on Sunday nights. But he's been on vacation, and I don't know if he'll play tonight or not. But I'm telling you, he's worth listening to. He cuts up on the guitar and is a really good singer. And then on Tuesday nights at the same time, he plays at a place called the Smoking Tuna down there. He plays with his full band at the Smoking Tuna. Uh, you have to Google Smoking Tuna. I forget, Bar and Grill, I think it is something. It's SMOKIN, Smoking Tuna, and you can find it that way. And they have a live webcam there too. And I try to watch him on Sundays and Tuesdays. He's good. So check him out. Oh my. Does he live at home, Hogleg, or he doesn't live at home, does he? Tornado warning, that's not good. Yeah, SMOKIN, real. That's Tuesday nights. Smoking Tuna is on Tuesday nights. Yeah, pay attention, Hogleg. Tonight he'll be at Willie T's if he's off vacation. Now I don't know if he's gonna be there or not. He, they all went on vacation. He went on vacation, but he's supposed to be at Willie T's tonight at 8 o'clock Central. Yeah. Okay. Has he got it real bad, Hogleg? Or I guess they all quarantined. Oh Lord, yeah, they all, I guess, quarantined. Don't send those kids to school tomorrow. Yeah. My wife starts back at work in the morning. We'll see how many of them show up with the COVID or don't show up because they got it. Hogleg don't go live later. He goes live early. Early in the morning. Oh Lord. Yeah, that's bad. Hey, Whiskers. Yeah. Is he doing okay, Whiskers? Two a.m. Okay, doing pretty good, Whiskers. It's a little bit cold here in the Magnolia State. 31 is cold for us, and it's going to 25 tonight. So we got a little snow and ice around dinner time. Ground was still warm, so it didn't stick, but kind of funny to see it. I stayed up to 12 New Year's Eve and went to bed about 12:05. My wife went to bed about 11, I reckon. I don't even know why I stayed up. I guess because I was on that, probably talking on this stupid computer. Been to the closet once. All right, well, you pay attention. Like I said, though, Hog Leg, if you get through this round, it looks like the next one coming across doesn't look to be nearly as bad. Hey, Lee Evans. Hey, little sister. How you doing, girl? Linda is my baby sister, y'all. She must be bored. Come on here to talk to her brother. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's cold. We freezing. Yeah, it's cold down here too. All the way down here, 30 miles. Yeah, Whiskers, y'all gonna get it. Hey, Carl. All right, Mark Green from Ireland. Good. Linda is ran across y'all, yeah. Hey, Linda is parked in the woods. Hey, Dallas. Because I hope y'all handle it better than we do down here. 2 to 4 inches will shut our whole state down. We don't do snow. Hog leg, that's my baby sister. None of that football game didn't go quite like we wanted it to last night, did it? She may be gone. She's looking for. She said she was looking for. Oh, there she is. Yeah, it was hard to watch. Okay, on Thursday nights. Linda Hogleg is a Georgia Bulldog fan. He lives in South Georgia. He's got a real team to pull for. Ole Miss played hard. They didn't look like they ever got in sync to me. They were just kind of like they was playing in the backyard or something. They got their work cut out for them, Hog Leg. Of course, Alabama does too, though. You talking about tonight, London? Oh yeah, Alabama versus Georgia. Yeah, I don't believe it's going to be like it was the last time. They better have my fire built this Thursday night, Annette, and plenty of clothes. No, it won't be in Alabama, will it? Where is the championship game played? I don't even know. They ought to play it in New Orleans. That's the best place in the world for a football game. Yeah, it's gonna be cold on those girls. I bet Jody be wearing shoes. I don't know. I wouldn't take that bet though, because she might be out there barefooted. I bet you if you made a bet with her of some sort that she thought she could win, I bet she'd go barefooted. If she thought she could make you put on makeup or something. or, or jump out of a tree into a lake or something. Illinois, I think. Lucas Oil Stadium in Illinois. Wonder where that is. Anybody in Illinois know? 5, 6 inches of snow in Santa Fe. Duggar, do y'all get those big old drifts out there in that part of the country? Big old snow drifts? Okay, Indianapolis is Lucas Oil. Okay, well I guess that's where the national championship is played. NCAA college. Indianapolis. Now let's see. The Colt Stadium. I got you. Ask if anybody wants to come up here. That may be a enclosed stadium, London. I don't know. I don't watch pro football. I don't do it. Yes, sir. Okay, Doug. No, we don't do snow down here, do we, Hog Leg? We don't do snow at all. Not this far south. I'll be dog. I bet that's pretty. Mule deer in the yard. Mm-hmm. That's neat. That's okay. Yeah, they are. I've seen a bunch of them driving across out there. They're not big as a big old elk though. No, we just need to stay in the house when it snows, Chucky, and when it gets cold. Stay close to the fire. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it either. Lord have mercy. You need to get the heater fixed, buddy. Yeah, those there could be. I bet you are going to warm up if you don't have any heat. Yeah, I don't care much about the cold weather. I never have. I do better in the heat than I do in the cold. Okay, Lulu. See you later. Thank you for stopping by. Tell Park I said hello. Oh man, yeah. Elk is elk is better than beef to me. Back when I was back when I was in the hunting community, I used to get a little elk off and on from people that went out west hunting. Okay, Rhea. Yeah. Did you find it on World Cam? Real and virtual? Oh, you find it on the World Cams? Because there's a lot of good places to watch down there that have World Cam live stream. Yeah, do you see all those others listed on there when you click on it? Uh, oh, they got oh, I can't even think of all of them, but it's 7, 8 of them listed there on World Cams. Hog Breath is a good one. They have some good entertainment. Hog Breath Saloon, I think is the name of it. And then they've got Sloppy Joe's, and then Willie T's, of course. I watch them all to see who's playing. Hog's Breath last week had a little 3-piece band from Kansas City down there. They played a week at the Hog Breath Saloon, and they were really good. I never could figure out what kind of music they played, but man, they packed that place every night. And there was folks dancing out in the street to their music. Hey, Rusty, you get any of this snow, Rusty? Hey, Raymond. Yeah, they have them in all of them. I got you, Duggar. Yeah, I guess it does matter, just like whitetails down here. Yeah, I guess it depends on how good they are, how much, what kind of food they eat. I tell you something, I got to eat one time with bear. that someone killed out there. That bear was pretty good. They had hamburgers made out of it, hamburger meat. It was good. I guess my favorite wild game though was quail. Quail and rabbits. I like squirrels. I love venison. Squirrel and gravy and some rice, and I can go to town. You got to be careful eating bear. I don't know. I've only eaten it once, and I wasn't careful. I just ate it. Why you got to be careful? Two snowflakes. We had more than that rustic down here in Mississippi. It snowed about an hour down here. Yeah, I guess you do have to be careful eating bear. Certainly, you can't eat bear in a restaurant. Well, I guess you could once. Then you probably wouldn't. They wouldn't let you in the next time. Oh, parasites! I thought you talking about eating naked. Well, golly, I figured fire killed the parasites. The heat. I've never eaten blue grouse. I've never had the opportunity to eat grouse. Hey, Melissa, don't have to yell tonight. I can see this chat real good. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Typing in all caps so the old man can see. I got a pair of glasses somewhere, but I don't need them in here. Yeah, now I've done a world of duck hunting back in the day, but never did much turkey hunting because I was on a farm and it just turkey hunting and farming didn't go together because it's the same time of the year. But now I've done my fair share of the duck hunting. Back in the 70s, the Mississippi River, the flyway down the Mississippi River was full of ducks. Man, I mean thousands and thousands of them. Not like that anymore. It's all geese now. Ducks Unlimited took care of the duck population in the South. I knew better than to ever give them 50 cents, much less $400 or $500. I never donated a penny to them. They shortstop all the ducks up in Missouri and Illinois and all with those aerators out there in those fields. And the ducks don't come down here anymore. We used to see flights of ducks that were mallards too. We used to see flights of ducks that were miles long. Miles, as far as you could see from a horizon to a horizon. And I bet you don't see 500 in a flock anymore, and that's very rare to even see a flight of mallards anymore. got a bunch of mergansers and all them old trash dug. Yeah, you better go and fix that heater. Duggar, Arkansas changed their laws here about middle of the summer. You know, Arkansas is the Green Tree Reservoirs up there. They've been world famous for years and years and years for duck hunting. And the government started allotting money to the landowners to flood that timber up so that the people would come in there and pay those exuberant prices to go duck hunting a day. And this year what happened, they abused the rules. The landowners started flooding more acres and started holding the water all summer so that they didn't have the expense of pumping it up the next winter. And they killed all the timber. So the state came in there this year and more or less shut a lot of that down and made them drain a bunch of it and cut them back on the number of acres that they allowed to flood, and they making them drain it. Supposedly gonna make them drain it at the end of the year. So duck hunters around here are hoping that puts more ducks in the Mississippi flyway, more ducks out in the river. I don't know if it will or not, but they hoping it will. Yeah, Melissa Hogleg said y'all huddled in the closet. Pay attention, man. Those dadgum tornadoes, they ain't nothing to play with. Yeah. I know the feeling, girl. I used to put the wife and kids in the bathtub on a mattress and put a mattress on top of them. And one time we had an outbreak that lasted about 24 hours. I wore the mattresses out, dragging them back and forth. Hey, Alvin. Thank goodness we never had one hit our house. I've been in a couple over on the river, but never had one hit our house. Yeah, yeah. Well, y'all have had some bad ones in Alabama and Georgia through the years. Heck, we've had some bad ones in Mississippi, but just never hit a home that we had. CVA. Yeah, I do too, Jersey. I like it as long as they're the young ones. I wish my little sister was still in here. She could tell you about my stepdad. he used to scared death storms when they put out a tornado watch. They load that car up and take off. And one of them ran him almost all the way to Alabama one night. And we lived on the west side of Mississippi, and Alabama's on the east side of Mississippi. And he rode all night long. They finally got a motel room somewhere way over beyond on the Alabama line, way over in the morning, I think. Running from tornadoes. But if there was any sign of bad weather, he's gonna have a full tank of gas. He's gonna try to outrun them. And those old AM radios back in the cars back in those days, that static and electricity, you couldn't hear nothing. And he'd hear something on there, name of a town or something, and he'd turn and go the opposite direction. Oh, he was something with the storms. And I tell y'all the story about a tornado over there on the Mississippi one Saturday. It was three of us in my boat, and there was three fellas, three guys, three friends in another boat. And we went one direction from the ramp, and they went the other. And they actually went straight across the river to Arkansas. We went up the river about 3 miles to an island. We were catfishing, rod and reel fishing. And we could see, being out in the middle of the river, we could see out to the west, and that's where our weather comes from. We saw this bad cloud coming and could see the flashes out way off. And we said, I wonder if we can outrun this thing back to the truck. Well, we decided we couldn't. So we pulled the boat up on the sand, way up on the sand, and sat there and watched it. And it started. It was going almost due east, and it went right over. Well, it went about a quarter of a mile from the boat ramp. The boat ramp was at a grain elevator on the Mississippi River, and the boat ramp was about a quarter mile from that elevator. And that thing came right straight across the river out of Arkansas. And where they caught our buddies, it caught them by surprise because they had their backs to Arkansas over there. And they heard thunder and lightning, but they didn't think much about it. And when they took off running, trying to get back across the river, that thing caught them right at the bank. And they didn't go to the boat ramp. They went to the nearest spot they could get to, and it was right there at that grain elevator. And just as the first one jumped out of the boat with the tow line, with the bow line, that gum thing picked that boat up and carried it about 50 yards up into the trees with the other two guys in it. And the boy that jumped out with the bow line, because it snatched it out of his hand, and it set them down out there in the woods in that big old boat, just like they was in the water. Well, that long tower that reaches out that loads the barges, it's a long grain elevator. What do you call it? The belt, conveyor belt. The long conveyor belt carries that grain out to those barges, and that thing's 300 feet long, I guess, and way up in there. It took that conveyor belt and all that machinery and carried it from way away. It strode it all the way across the fields out there. And they was all skinned up and everything and didn't break anything. After it passed, we went on down there and they were standing around at the truck. They didn't know what to do, and they were still scared to death. But it picked them up out of that river and put them up in the woods in the boat. But they luckily none of them got hurt. It tore the boat up, of course, tore the motor up, but they lost a lot of tackle and all. But they gathered up some stuff, and the boat was beyond repair. We pulled a truck over there, and all 6 of us, we were able to get the motor off of the boat and get it in the back of that truck. And they eventually fixed the motor, but they had to buy a new boat. It tore that aluminum boat all to pieces. It wasn't no fixing it. They were lucky it didn't kill them. And lucky they got to the bank before it it caught them. But it caught them out there in that river. We never would have seen them again. But that was somewhere around 70, 71. And that I always pay attention to those storms out there. Just trying to think, those three men, I believe all of them gone now. I believe all three of them passed away, but not all the three that was in my boat. We still here. But that'll shorten your life there. Hey, Jody. What is Steve dipping? Is that what you use, Jody? Melissa, that's what I said. They close our states down when we get 2 inches of snow. The whole state closed down. Yeah, you tougher than I am, Jody. You tougher than I am. Yeah, man. Snow, that's a full-letter dirty word. It's almost bad as work. Almost. Well, I guess I can put this link in here one more time. Anybody wants to jump up here, they can. Anybody feels the need to talk. Yeah, that'll do it. It'll do it to you. Terrible habit, Melissa. It's a terrible habit. But you know, it's kind of weird. I started this mess smoking and dipping when I was real young, 11, 12 years old. And I quit smoking. I smoked off and on, and I smoked a lot, but I quit smoking. But this one thing I never been able to quit doing. I guess if I wanted to, I could. Hey, Jody.
Howdy.
I'm
What's up?
getting plumb good at all this computer stuff.
You are. I'm proud of you. You got the hang of
Brian B tutored me.
it. Okay. He did a good job. You learned fast.
He tutored me.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I checked. It's 9 hours to watch bar from me.
Yeah.
And I want to come up there when the flatheads turn on.
Okay.
And do you just fish at night?
Basically.
Okay. You don't fish late in the evening and on into the night, or is that what you do late in the evening?
If I go Thursday night when I get off work, I get there about 7, sometimes 6:30.
Well, daylight savings, that's still with the lights.
Yeah. During the summer it is. It usually gets dark around 8:30 of the summer. And then I fish till morning. and come back home. Come back home around 10 the next day.
I've been trying to talk. Well, I mentioned it to Brian. See if maybe we could meet up there and fish one weekend. Fish Friday and Saturday, and well, Friday and Saturday.
The best bite is during the summer
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you want to catch multiple flatheads a night of good size, summer's best.
Well, that's what I want to try to catch as a goal.
Hmm.
I think it'd be fun. We get a. Is it some, I know it's some motels around there close, right?
I couldn't hear you.
I
Mine
said,
sounds like a robot.
I said, I know it's some motels around there close.
Just depends on where you want to fish at. Where I'll go at, I mean, you probably get within 20 minutes of it.
Oh yeah, that's close
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't get one right on it where I fish at, but
20 minutes that's close.
there's a lot of people want to go down there and fish, and I thought about renting a house and just busting up the payment between people who want to come down and fish. They can stay in it.
Well, whatever. I mean, it don't.
Yeah.
But I'd like to come up there and do it. How many people can go on your boat?
On my boat, it's a 20-foot. I'd say 5 would be the safest, I'd feel.
Oh, you that many?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, heck, who knows? We might work something and get some of the other guys that. Of course, I can catch flatheads down here, but some of those guys up there on the Potomac, they don't have them like
Hmm.
we have them down here.
Yeah.
I just like to come up there and fish a different spot. I
Hmm.
never have fished on the Tennessee or the Cumberland or any of those rivers.
Yeah.
Night training now if you're going to keep over go there. Oh well, I can always go to sleep real. I can always curl up somewhere.
I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you come on those, we can get you on a couple days at least fishing.
Yeah, 2 nights would be plenty, and then
Yeah.
from home Sunday or Monday.
And I can probably take a day off from work.
Well, if you're off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yeah.
if you're off Friday, we can fish Thursday. Friday.
Yeah. I fish Thursday night. That's why I fish every Thursday because it's my last day of work.
Okay, I see. That's why you all go out on Thursday night. I got you.
Yeah. As soon as I get off work, I head out.
Okay. What? Yeah. Thursday night and Friday night. I don't know how to. Oh, I know I got a partner in Memphis that would come with me. CP, you see him in my chat sometime. Chuck's Corn Range. I don't know if you've ever seen him or not.
Mm-mm. No.
I'm surprised he ain't popped in here.
Yeah.
But he usually comes on the live streams when I'm out on the river.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's 9 hours to watch bar. 8 hours in summer, and I'm thinking 9 because I don't drive fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be fun. I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are coming there this year, so I thought I'd look into, renting a house, see what it costed, because it'd be a lot easier than, the hotel and everything.
Well, if you got 2 or 3 people staying in a motel, that ain't bad.
No.
You get a double room.
Mm-hmm.
I always got a good couch. But I've been talking to Brian B about it to see if he wanted to do it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see though.
Yeah.
As long as the invite's there, we can try to work on something.
Yeah.
And you talk
I could leave my boat down there if I rented a house.
Okay. You wouldn't move down there though?
Yeah.
Would you move down there?
In a heartbeat.
Okay, and then go back and forth to work during the week.
I could drive back and forth to work, but my job may be ending in the middle of next year anyway. If we don't get another contract, we won't have any work.
I got you. What kind of work do you do?
I work in the sewing factory. We manufacture sleeping bags and parkas and pants for the military.
Yeah.
and I manage quality system and documentation and audits and training, work instructions, things like that.
And so y'all don't have another government contract right now.
Yeah. Well, whenever you switch presidents, you go from to a Democrat. They don't spend money on the military. Republicans do that.
I understand.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way
That's
it is.
the way it is.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, maybe they'll do something. I didn't know they did that in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Our owner actually was in New York and moved to Florida. He passed away about a month ago, and his daughter took over. So it's even more stuff going on at work, than just slow contracts.
Yeah. Hey, Epic. Fat boy. Well, how many folks? We got 18 folks in here.
Mm-hmm.
I get the muskrats in here. I missed a bunch of folks. Yeah, I don't know where Brian was. He was in here, but he's probably making his famous macaroni and cheese. Hey, Art. Yeah, we see you, Art.
But yeah, I'm ready for you to come to Tennessee. But you want to wait till the bite's there.
Is that June, July?
I usually start back in March. The water starts rising back up and the bite starts coming back. But spawn's around May and June.
Right.
And the bite's pretty good, especially June, July.
It's the end of June here.
Yeah.
When they come off a spawn. You catch them before that and then after that.
Yeah. The different waters have different spawn times.
Yeah, well, the Tennessee and yeah, sort of, not, but it's a matter of weeks.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
matter of weeks. It's not, the Tennessee and Ohio and Mississippi and the Missouri, they all sort of intertwined, and it's a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can bring a bunch of bullheads. Do you use bullheads for bait?
Never seen one.
Oh, mudcats.
Them little bitty ones?
Oh, they anywhere from 6 to. Man, you strictly be big fish fishing when you use them.
Yeah.
But most of the time.
Yeah, I had a friend tell me to get some or some baby channels and use them as bait, but I never.
Man,
I can't catch anything that little. I don't know what size of hook you can even use to try to catch something like that.
Oh, I catch them on 2-aught. I got a reservoir out here. It's an irrigation reservoir that the farmers built to irrigate about 1,300 acres of corn and beans.
Yeah.
Pumps his water in it out of a little river, and then pumps it back out with the same pump. It's electric, and he switches the valves, and he can irrigate out of free water. It's free water, basically, what it is. And it says Steve I got power and hopefully I don't know how to give him a wrench. Can I whack him? Since I got the power and hopefully I can't tell what she's talking about. I can get all of that. Now I came up with a little old bait that man, I can catch 2 hours. I can probably catch 25 or 30 of the bullhead sitting in the truck. Oh, and I can wear them out.
Goodness, that's crazy.
Well, it's full of them. See, when they back pump that reservoir to fill it up, and it's a 40 acre. It's a quarter by quarter mile.
Yeah.
And when they pump that water out of that little river in there, they pump all them eggs. I guess they pumped a bunch of them little bullheads in there, and they just multiply.
Yeah.
And I've set up just like I do for big catfish. Except I use a Zepco, and I toss it out there, and it reel him up. And I just catch them just many as I want, really.
Mm-hmm.
And they good bait. They good flathead bait.
I've heard there was.
Epic's in here. Epic, you ever use bullheads for flatheads? It seemed to me like one time he said he didn't use them.
Hmm. I mostly use skipjack and a red eye and a brim
Yeah,
and
I
shad.
told you about. Yeah, I told you about catching those 42 in 4 trips, 4 days,
Yeah.
flathead. Now, it wasn't any big ones. Now, we caught them on moon eye and skipjack, and
Mm-hmm.
hooked the skipjack. As soon as we caught them, was catching them on one side of the boat and flipping them right out the back of the boat. And they
Wow.
were still kicking when they hit the water because they don't live 3 seconds. And they didn't stay in the water 3 seconds, and we'd have another
Mm.
flathead. Caught 42 in 4 trips,
Wow.
late June and July. Yeah, there you
Mm-hmm.
go. But that's it. That time and one other time is the only time I ever caught moon eye on the river. Caught them on jigs on a sabiki rig, just like you do the skipjack. And
Yeah.
these were little old skipjacks about that long. They were little small skipjacks, and they were right beside the boat. We pulled up in a run out. The water was coming down, and we just pulled up on there and stopped and fishing right
Mm-hmm.
there, catching them and throwing right there. And I mean, 4 foot of water, and we just catching them one right behind the other. Yeah, we I've caught the only time I've ever had my hands on moon eye. I caught fish on them, Epic. We just don't catch many of them down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can bring some bullheads because I got all the aerators and I got
Mm-hmm.
live tanks out here in the backyard.
Yeah.
I keep I got bait out there now.
I can get you the skipjack.
Do I?
I got plenty of the skipjack. I can get you plenty of it fresh.
Well, I'd like to get some skipjacks. I'll trade you some bullheads for some skipjacks.
Okay. That'll work.
Yeah. Well, I can't get them home. I like them. I can't get them home in time. I guess I can put enough ice.
We might be able to catch some while you're down there too.
Yeah, if I had a cooler with enough ice, that ain't hard to do. See, I when I catch skipjack, when I
Mm-hmm.
used to catch them out of the boat, and this is the way I did it, and I always had real good luck keeping them good and fresh.
Yeah.
I used bottled ice, 2 liters,
Mm-hmm.
freeze them, kept them in the
Yeah.
freezer, and I put a whole thing of ice in the bottom of the. I carried 2 coolers,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them I carried 6 or 8 bottles of ice,
Yeah.
and then I take a couple of those, 3 of those bottles of ice, and put them in the bottom of another cooler. And as I was catching skipjack, I put them on that ice,
Mm-hmm.
on those ice bottles. I never put them on ice. I never put a skipjack when I figured out how to do it on
Mm-hmm.
regular ice. I put them in those bottles of ice where they stay dry
Mm-hmm.
and catch them. And when I got a good layer of skipjacks in there, I throw 2 more bottles in there
Mm.
and catch maybe 100, and
Yeah.
and then I'd seal it up and carry them home. And this was before vacuum sealers.
Yeah.
But what I used was the air pump that you pump up air mattresses with.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a reverse on it.
Yeah.
It sucks the air out. And I rigged me up a little tube on the end of that thing where I could put it down in that bag and suck it, and then zip it real quick. And that was my vacuum seal.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't throw that skipjack in on any water,
Yeah.
they last pretty good. Now I'll tell you, I see muskrat says salt brine. I never salted them. I always just did it just like I just said. Never put them on ice.
When you was
Regular ice.
sucking the air out, how'd that taste?
How'd it taste?
Yeah, if you was sucking the air out of a bag of skipjack.
I was doing it with the mattress pump.
Oh, okay.
You know, the mattress, those air mattress
Okay.
pumps got a reverse.
You had that
where you
pump onto
suck
that.
air.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was
'Cause
using.
I was gonna say that had to be nasty.
Oh hell no, I ain't sucking on it. Because I'm too tight to buy a vacuum seal even when they came out. But I found out if I just threw them on ice,
Mm,
carried them home, kept them fresh, and carried them home, they got mushy quick in the freezer.
yeah.
But put them on that ice in bottled ice, and that kept them fresh. Keep them fresh. Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a story about skipjack, and this is one of the funniest things that ever happened to me.
I can't wait.
We got a power plant here over on the
Mhm.
river, and it used to have a hot water discharge when they heated with coal and diesel fuel or diesel fuel oil. They switched to propane now and or butane or natural gas, and the water don't get as hot as it used to. But we could go over there in the spring and wintertime and catch skips anytime. And so it was. I guess it was a February or March.
Uh,
I I put the boat in, and I carried a few frozen skips, but I always like to go by that discharge to see if I could get some fresh ones. And so I go by the. Are you there, Jody? Oh, Jody's gone. I'll wait till she gets back. Oh, yeah, she's still there.
I had to let the dogs out.
Okay. So I
I heard
always
somebody.
I always go by that discharge, see if I catch a few fresh skips before I went fishing. So I wheeled up in there, had my sabiki rig out and everything. And there was two Mexican guys sitting up on the bank fishing in this runout. It's wide, it's a ditch. And up in there is a spillway, and you can cast up there too and catch those skips sometime. Used to. So I pull up in there, and they sitting up here on the bank. There's two of them sitting side by side, and they got the poles in the water there. And I throw about 20 times, and I finally catch one skipjack. And so, what the hell, these guys here. So I said, y'all want this? And they shook their head. So I eased over to the bank. One of them walked down there, and I handed him that skipjack, and it was about a foot long. And I held it. He had the skipjack in his hand, and I held my hand up, and I did like that because he didn't speak any English. You know, I did like that to show him how to cut it, you know, to use for bait.
Yeah.
And I left. I went on fishing. Well, the next afternoon, I went back out, and I did the same exact thing. I brought a few skips with me, frozen, and I swung up in there, and those two guys are sitting there again. Sitting in the same spot. So I pull up in there and I waved at them, you know, and they waved back. And I pull up in there and I cast and I cast and I cast. And I finally caught a skipjack after about 10, 15 casts. And I said, hey, I'm going to give it to them too. And I turned around and I held that skipjack up, and both of them at the same time say, no moss, no moss, no moss. And I thought to myself, what? You know, it kind of made me mad. I'm trying to give him fresh skipjack.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right, and I threw the skipjack in the cooler, and I turned the boat and got about halfway across that river thinking about them two Mexicans sitting up there, and they wouldn't take fresh skipjack, and then it dawned on me. They carried that damn skipjack home and cooked it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. And no wonder they was hollering, no moss, no moss. They done carried that thing home and cut it up just like I said and cooked and put it in the grease.
I know they do.
And it had to have been the most awful thing they ever put in their mind.
I seen when I was fishing on the bank for some, there was some people wanting mine. I wouldn't let them have them because I need them for bait. And they caught one, and they sit right there and cut it and bled it out and put it in a bag. I knew what they was taking it home to eat it.
Lord, I tell you what, they didn't. I bet they didn't do it no more.
I don't know.
So that's awful, man. That's got to be bad.
They wasn't catching any. When I started catching them, they come down there and crowded me out. And I didn't leave for them.
Yeah.
I just crossed their line.
Okay. I was looking on my bottle of. I take fish oil pills every morning, a big one.
Yeah.
And I saw on that it's herring. It's got herring oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing you can't taste them pills.
Yeah.
Because I bet that is. Yeah, Duggar said you won't eat but one skipjack. I guarantee you that's what they was doing. Ooh.
They are nasty.
Oh, golly, they're nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My kids won't go fishing with me over them.
Because they smell so bad?
Yeah, and they're kind of girly.
Oh, okay.
They was sitting on the left side of the pontoon, and I cut a big old bloody piece of skipjack and with the gut pocket, put it on the hook. And when I went with the cast, that gut pocket fell off and hit them.
No, that'll break it up.
They was so mad, and they've not been since.
I saw one of your daughters or nieces or something fishing with you one night back here a few months ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember who. Well, it was some of you.
Mm-hmm.
I put those gut pockets on with a rubber band. I put them on there with a rubber band.
Yeah.
So that they'll stay on that butter.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get a bite on a gut pocket, you just well go home.
Yeah.
Because every catfish out there will eat a gut pocket.
Mm-hmm. I like the piece right after the head.
The head, a lot of people don't like to use the tail section.
I don't use the tail. I save it in case I run out of bait. That's the only way.
Well, try this. You cut it, you got the tail there.
The booty.
Yeah, cut it off about 2 inches up.
Okay.
Take your fillet knife and on one side, start at the tail and fillet it up a little bit. On the other side, start at the cut and fillet back toward the tail where you got a flap on each side.
Mm-hmm.
And then hook it in the little pieces, the little hard pieces left. And that's a pretty good piece of bait too now.
Yeah.
And it'll stay on the hook forever. I've caught some pretty good fish on those on that bait.
Yeah.
But I used to not use them either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't throw them away. I keep them. Put them in the bag.
That's what Brian B says. He uses the tail. He fillets the sides.
Yeah.
I fillet one way and the other one the other way. And it's kind of a flipper-flopper there.
Mm-hmm.
So we got so much.
I've always got plenty of bait.
Yeah, well, I always tried to find something to stay on the hook so I wouldn't have to reel up so much. That's the reason I use them rubber bands.
Yeah. On
those gut pockets. And still to this day, I never caught a fish on any kind of cut brim, any kind of cut crappie.
Really?
Mullet, we get mullet here in November, October, November. We catch them in cast nets. They're so thick. Never caught a fish on them. And got a few bites here and there, but never. Now, I've caught fish on live brim and live crappie and live bass, largemouth bass. But never had any luck with them here. I guess I don't know.
I'm not much to use a bass. I use striped bass, the
You
little one.
ever use them live?
Yeah, I've used white basses live. Yeah.
I caught 4 one day fooling around there trying to catch skipjacks, and I caught 4 fish, the same hole.
Yeah.
2 flatheads and 2 blues. So everything out there eats. Well, I think ours are what you call wipers, though. I don't think they true.
You're talking about whether hybrids and the
I,
stripes are
I
busted.
guess I don't know the difference in none of that stuff. I call them all stripes. I don't know what they are.
My stripe, what you're talking about is the big fish I catch.
No, well, we have the big ones. I've caught some big ones, but these
Hmm.
were small ones,
Yeah.
10, 12 inches. No, I've hung some big stripers. I
Hmm.
mean, like 15 pounds, uh, trying to catch bait before. They tear up all my stuff. They tear up my
Yeah.
sabiki rig
Hmm.
and straighten all the hooks because you'll end up with 3 or 4 hooks in them when they
Hmm.
go to running and get. I've lost some lines, but I have caught a couple of them before.
Hmm.
A few of them. Yeah, what is that a wiper when they break your line?
It's a hybrid's all I know.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what they call the hybrids or wipers. I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah. I probably went 2 months without catching one, and I caught 2 last month. But some nights, like when they're really hitting good, sometimes you'll catch 6 of them a night on accident.
Mm-hmm.
They're picking up your bait.
On your catfish rod. Yeah.
They're picking up that cut skipjack.
I know up there on that lake that Cowboy Luther fishes. That's a known striper lake,
Hmm.
Beaver Beaver Lake up there in northwest Arkansas. They
Yeah.
catch some monster stripers up there. I guess they're stripers. They might be the hybrid.
Yeah.
But I think I've heard him mention that he catches them from time to time
Hmm.
when he's catfishing.
I've never caught a monster one yet. 23 pounds is the biggest one I've caught. I've not caught the 40s or the 50s yet.
Well, that's a big one, 22 pounds. Mike Chavez asked you if you're still in Virginia.
No, I'm home.
She's at home, Mike. She's at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to try that trip up there
Hmm.
if I don't get too old.
Oh, you never get too old for traveling.
I hate traveling.
Oh, I love it. I love to drive. I love to go places.
My wife does too, golly. She's been after me to go to Charleston, South Carolina for I don't know how many years.
Hmm.
She wanted to go over there and see all the flowers and everything and
Yeah.
tour the city and Savannah and Charleston. And I'm a Civil War buff, but I ain't never had any desire to go somewhere like that.
Yeah.
I'd
Really?
rather I'd rather look at it around here.
Yeah.
But anyway, her and one of my daughter-in-laws went over there last summer. And my daughter-in-law got one of those watches, I think, that tells you they
Yeah.
walked 28 miles
Woo.
in 4 or 5 days. And I
That's
said,
a
Lord
lot.
have mercy. Because even when I was going to the football games with her over at Ole Miss, I stayed at the vehicle.
Hmm.
I wasn't gonna walk out. I can't. I ain't gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. But I
Now
sure was glad she finally got to go.
you was a teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you teach?
American government, junior, senior American history. I taught the older classes, the
Yeah.
juniors and seniors, basically.
Okay. So
But
that's why you like the Civil War stuff.
well, yeah. When I was in college, I like 3 hours of having a major in history.
Hmm.
I majored in coaching and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but I didn't like the 3 hours of having a double major, and I should have gotten it, but I don't guess it mattered. But
Yeah.
we had a guy from Central Tennessee or East Tennessee. His name was Dr. Allen Dennis.
Yeah.
He was working on his doctorate, finishing it up. and they hired him in the history department up there where I went to school, and he taught Civil War history 2 semesters of it, first and second, 6 hours. And the first day of class, I could tell I was going to like him right away. He says he gave us a big handout of what every day in the class.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw on there it said Civil War songs. So I raised my hand and I said, the Civil War songs, we're gonna listen to a record or something? He said, no, I'm gonna play them on the guitar. I said, oh, that's gonna be good. And he says, along those same lines, if anyone in the class can name a Johnny Cash recording that I can't play and sing, you get an automatic A in the class, and you don't have to come back to class.
Mm.
And I raised my hand again, and I said, when is this going to take place? And he said, it's going to take place tomorrow. The first, well, not tomorrow, but the next day of class. Met the class on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
It's going to take place on Wednesday. Well, I didn't have but about 15 Johnny Cash records in them days. They were albums, the big round records. I was a Johnny Cash freak. I said, I'm about to get me an A come Wednesday, and I ain't gonna have to go back to school.
Yeah.
I sat up there and I named songs, and he strummed them and played them for an hour and 15 minutes. Of course, all them other guys had gone and looked it all up. We were back before computers, but they had looked up some songs. But I mean, they were doing stuff like Folsom Prison, and then, I'm talking about songs that he recorded on big albums that were way down the list. I mean, I knew them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wheeling those songs out there to him, and he'd play about half of the song, and I'd wave my hand, not because I said, okay, that one, here's another one.
Yeah.
And needless to say, I didn't get my A.
Nope.
But I sure thought I was.
Yeah.
He fooled me. But apparently he was a Johnny Cash fanatic. Mm-hmm. I just thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when I got interested in the Civil War. He was an excellent professor. He eventually became the head of the department up there. Hey, Steve. He eventually became the head of the department. He wasn't just a few years older than I was when he came there, and way after I left, he became the department head, which he was a good professor. His classes filled up immediately. All his classes. He in Delta State, that's where I went to school. It was the head of the history department when I went to Delta State wrote the history book, the Western Civilization book, that's world history. Yeah. He wrote the book that was taught there. I mean, it was a great history school. Had a great history department.
Yeah.
And along with that goes American government and development of political thought and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great, and that's when I got interested in the Civil War. Really interested in it. But I tell you something else he said that first day of class, that first day, was that he would teach us to hate Robert E. Lee. And I'll prove it, and I'll prove it to y'all throughout this course. And not hate him, but find out that Robert E. Lee wasn't all that we give him credit to be, as far as the South is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all the facts. And I taught it the same way when I was teaching high school kids. And It's he, Robert E. Lee made some bad calls. He sacrificed the South for his beloved Virginia,
Yeah.
but that's all right too. That's history. I still wouldn't have torn his statue down. Or anyone else's for that matter.
Yeah. Steve, you're welcome for the stickers. And Mike Chavez is heading out. See you, Mike.
Okay, Mike. See you later, bud. Dang, there's a lot of the folks in the catfish community that work at night, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
World of them.
Yeah.
I worked graveyard one time when I was in college, and I was like, Lord, that's too tough for me. It was during Vietnam, and we were packaging, no, I don't know, stuff to take a drop into the jungle
Mm-hmm.
to the soldiers. And man, we had military people there. We packed it at night. They bagged it during the day, and then we packed it at night. And I guess they had somebody there watching them in the daytime, putting it in the bags and the bottles and stuff. But when we packed it, we had to strap it down with those flat bands, and all. And it
Yeah.
had to be where they could drop it out of those helicopters down in the jungle. And I'll never forget that guy that was sitting there watching me work. He had on his chest right up here, where they wear all that stuff.
Yeah.
He had enough red and blue and yellow and gold and black. He had enough stuff on his chest that it looked like 10 accordions hanging off of it.
Yeah.
And I was scared to even look at him. And he stood there and watched us pack that stuff every night for 11 months. But he was, and he had some regular soldiers standing there watching too. And
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while, they take one of them cutters and cut one of them bands, and it had to make a certain sound when it sprung loose, or it wasn't tight enough to suit him. And I believe the bands were tight enough. He just wanted to impress us that he had the power.
Yeah, might have been.
Yeah, and we'd have to tighten them all back down again, man. But that was quite an experience dealing with the Army.
Mm-hmm. Scary.
Can you see chat?
Yep. Now I look down, I can see it.
Yeah,
Look
mine.
down on my laptop.
Fish Ranch. Hello, Fish Ranch.
Howdy.
I know I probably missed about half the folks as them come in here. I get to talking and I forget to look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop that link again in case anybody wants to come up besides us. I guess I did that right. Anybody wants to come up here, there it is. Again.
Hey, Hooks and Hammock.
Yeah, Hooks is still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Epic's class the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it?
Watched part of it. I had my own show I had to get ready for.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey D.
There's Steve. Howdy.
He makes some good points when he's teaching that stuff.
Mm-hmm. If somebody else wants to come up here, I'll get down.
All I see is you and I. No, ain't nobody else coming up here.
You got Brian.
Oh
You
yeah,
got
but I mean, I'm talking
Chris.
about down here in the cellar, in the
Yeah,
basement.
you got Epic. You got Steve. Come on up here, Buck. You got all kinds of people down there that can sit a while and talk, spend some time with you.
No, we got. How many can I have up here?
Do you have the free edition?
Yeah.
You can have, I think, they say 7, but I know you have at least 6,
We
counting
ain't gonna
you.
get that many anyway.
The more you get, the easier to just talk over each other, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of it, Epic. I didn't watch every single minute. Now there's somebody we need to get rid of that one.
I ain't got a ranch. That'd be Melissa. Get him, Melissa. You got a bot right above you.
Melissa's supposed to be.
But she's dropping links. She can't do it all. Somebody got it right there, though. You probably need to make you 2 or 3 more after you're live.
Well, yeah,
Pick
I've
people,
got. Huh?
pick people who's always in your live.
Well, I got 4 or 5. They just not in here now. Melissa's the
Yeah,
only one.
that's the problem. You got to have extra for when the ones that don't, everybody can't be at the same place, same time.
Oh well.
There she got them. She wrote it.
I can't remember how to make the things. I got to go into my channel, right?
You'll go after your live is off. You can go to any of your videos, and whoever you want to make a mod, then you'll click beside their name, the 3 dots, make a moderator.
Yeah.
But you have to wait till your live's over. Or
Yeah.
unless if you had a second device, you could do it right now on the second device.
Yeah, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna worry about it. Brian B. I don't usually have a 10 or 12. Hey, Chunky, Skunky, Chunky.
Don't say that.
That boy hadn't caught a fish since Dana Parker called him Skunky on.
I know she jinxed him.
And he ain't had a good day since.
She passed on the Parker curse.
Yeah, she passed it on by just saying Skunky.
You know what? I'm not done good since John Parker sent me these flights.
Well, you run.
That's exactly what brought my jinx on. He sent me 3 rigs, and I used them. And that's why my bite is gone. I got that John Parker curse.
There you got it.
Mm-hmm. Dang his hide.
I was catching fish till I subscribed to his channel.
That's some potent stuff right there. That's some bad juju.
Bad juju. Real, you ain't got to worry about watching me fish tonight. Well, I ain't going.
Oh goodness.
I know I got it, hog leg. I'm gonna let Melissa work. I'm paying her so good to give her something to do. You know, I'm a moderator in a couple of channels, and I don't even know what to do. I mean, I know how to block them. I ain't never blocked anybody, but I know how to do that. It's pretty simple. Or, you know, to knock them out or time them out. But dropping those links, I still ain't figured that out.
That's somebody. There's always somebody who likes dropping the links.
Yeah.
I don't particularly care to drop them. I mean, I do for people, but
I don't know how to do
it. I can't chat or pay attention to what's going on if I'm dropping links.
Right. Fat boy, you're going to have to watch the back of your eyelids or something because you ain't going to watch me fish. Not tonight. I think Annette already is isn't she already a mod in my channel, on my channel?
You have Melissa. That's the only one in here with the blue range.
Hey, Dale.
So like Chunky, Epic, everybody's free game if I had a wrench.
If you had a wrench,
No,
no,
nobody else.
I'm not gonna get you in trouble. That won't do nothing but get you in trouble, girl.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
Your New Year's resolution was not
I
to.
know. Everybody take my wrenches. That way I ain't tempted.
They cramping your style, aren't they?
Yeah, I can't help myself. Just take my wrench. That way I ain't tempted.
Well, I guess they all asking. I reckon I better. I guess. Heck, I don't want to do that now. Do it?
I wouldn't do it now. You got Melissa in there.
Yeah, Melissa's enough. I'll do some more
Yeah.
later.
You might accidentally do something to your stream and end it accidentally. Anytime I fool with mine, I always mess it up.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey, Dale, hey, Slip.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I got 5 or 6, 4 or 5 anyway. But I don't guess any of them in here.
No.
But Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Lisa is one, and oh heck, Fins and File is one, and 3B is one. And where's 3B? He's always in the chats.
I seen him earlier today, I believe, but it is Sunday. He's untelling what he's doing. Is the Tennessee
Didn't
blood
hit
over
Boomtown.
Nah.
Boomtown must be a casino somewhere.
Mm.
Where's Boomtown? Down on the coast, down south, or in Cunifer? Got to be down south. Yeah, Duggar's got one.
I may have to get off to start coughing.
Yeah, we got casinos up here too. We got 2 here in Greenville.
Yeah.
Now I was explaining to my wife. She says that the one downtown not doing very much business. And I told her, look, people don't realize these casinos don't have to have people there because a whole lot of their business is money laundering.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, let's just say you and I were let's say we were drug lords.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and to clean money, that means you tax money.
Yeah.
Well, you and I send 2 people, and I send my man with a ton of money. Well, I would send 2 men, one with a ton of money.
Yeah.
That needed to be laundered, and another employee. Well, they go and they ask for a private poker room.
Mm-hmm.
The dealer at the casino furnishes a table, a private room, and a dealer, and the dealer cuts so much out of every pot, out of every hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when employee A loses that $8 million to employee B,
Mm-hmm.
that money's clean.
Mm.
Employee B, and I'm not sure in every casino,
Yeah.
but in Mississippi, I think employee B only has to report $20,000.
Mm.
So that money's clean.
Yeah.
Employee A is not going to report it as being lost. Employee B can claim it as being won,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't claim who he won it from. So now the money's clean.
Yeah.
And they go buy a Chevrolet dealership with it then, or whatever they want to do with it.
Yeah.
And A whole lot of that goes on up and down the Mississippi River in Mississippi. There ain't no
Mhm.
doubt about that. So look, these casinos move into these towns, and you can't get in the parking lot for about a year, and then all of a sudden, it's 20 cars in the parking lot. Now you got those on the coast down there around Biloxi and all, where it's a resort areas,
I've been to Biloxi Casino in there.
and you got those up at Tunica. Well, some of those at Tunica are closed down.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when, but a whole lot of it is laundering money.
Yeah.
No, I never hit anything. I don't go to them. I don't. I wished I would hit a million.
I went last week to one, and then I went in August to one.
I don't even play the lottery,
Yeah.
but they cleaning money is what a lot of them are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord have mercy. Do you ever watch? You ever watch any of the live streams from Miami? The boat videos
I
where they
watched the boat ramps.
where they coming and going out of Miami out to the Gulf.
No. Are you talking about where they had to ride over that to give it a lot of gas to get over there? Yeah. I watched that, and I watched some boat fails where they're trying to load on the ramp and stuff.
You see some of those boats? Did you ever watch one where they put the price of those boats up there?
Yeah.
Millions of dollars.
Crazy.
So, some of those boats got their own crew, and the people that own it just,
I know.
well, where do you think all that money comes from?
I don't
It
know,
ain't,
but
it ain't all real estate money. You can bet
yeah.
on that.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous what people pay for. I don't see how people have that much money. I mean,
Well, the football players, the basketball
yeah.
players, some of the
Or,
boxers, some of those golfers, they got that kind of money, but all their money's, it's already taxed.
yeah.
But how much drug money you reckon's in Miami?
A lot. I seen one that was like a cruise ship, and he was the owner of a football team.
Yeah.
And then he
Well,
had a smaller boat where his crew took him into to the dock. But it was like 3 or 4 tier. It was like a cruise ship.
that's right.
Like,
And
it's crazy. The money
what
some
would
of
the
these
insurance?
things
What would
are.
the insurance be on that boat? I guess if you own that boat, a boat like that, you're not worried about insurance, huh?
No, he had a full crew. He had a workout room and everything on it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Probably serve 3 fancy meals a day.
Yeah. Probably.
But yeah, that money laundering is
Mm-hmm.
that's big business in these casinos on the Mississippi River.
Hmm. Hadn't thought of that.
Well, never mind. No, just that's enough about that.
Yeah.
I got a good friend that's in a certain agency that they track all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it is. Oh yeah, they can write a pile of it off, but where Brian B, what I was talking about, where some of them come up with the money to buy those big old boats,
Mm-hmm.
and how they can justify having that money, because you it's hard to go pay
Wow.
$10 million for a boat and pay cash for it, because
Mm-hmm.
the people that building it got to report it.
Mm-hmm. Do you see what Epic wrote about the gas for one of those?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
Catfish Clothing was talking about having put $400 in his boat last night to drive it fishing, and I'm like, I get stingy buying 6 gallons for mine.
yeah.
I go through 12 gallons every 3 trips.
Well, you're not going very far.
I put it I plan my trip out, and wherever I plan on fishing, That's the boat ramp I use.
Yeah, they those towboats out there on the river hold some of them hold 100,000 gallons.
Yeah.
How much is that, Epic?
Hmm.
What towboat holds 100,000 gallons of fuel? How many dollars is that? That's about 400,000. Yeah. Yeah, I guess diesel fuel $3 or $4 a gallon. I really don't know how much diesel fuel is. Brian B gonna have one with 2 levels.
You gonna get a double decker pontoon?
Put a no, he gonna put a bimini top on
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm showing off my new hat, Melissa.
it. I like that cap.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go, Epic. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I know they hold about 100,000. Well, they hold 100,000. Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't say he was gonna float. Yeah,
Oh.
there we go. Well, somebody got to have plenty of money.
Mm-hmm. It ain't me, but somebody.
Yeah, that's what I always wanted was a houseboat. I
Me
had a
too.
small one bought one time. I had second offer on it, and
Yeah.
way back on, and the guy bought it. The first offer took it, and I would have loved to own it. It was a smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
I think slept 4 people. It had twin Chevrolet engines in it,
Yeah.
but I thought that would have been to catch me out to
Mm-hmm.
be out there on that river anymore. But now fuel prices have gone so high, I couldn't afford to do nothing but look at it.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how much difference it costs us to go now.
No, no,
Because I was going 3 times a week. Now I'm only going 1 time a week.
yeah, yeah, that counts, Brian B.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I think about getting my boat back out, but I don't know.
I think I'm gonna jump down and get me something to eat and something to drink.
All
Appreciate
right,
you letting me up. Spend
okay,
some time with you.
appreciate you coming up. Yeah,
All right. Bye everybody. Bye Steve.
bye bye. All right. If anybody else wants to come up here, come on. Yeah, there's a lot of .com millionaires, mate, for sure. Jody going to get her something to eat. Yeah, better look at this weather. See who all getting hammered. East Mississippi, snow. All in North Alabama finna get snow. Florence, Alabama, all the way up to Nashville getting snow and ice. Hey, Lisa. All right. Hey, Rustic. Hey,
Hey,
man.
Mr. Adams, how you doing?
Hey, boy. Yeah, it's snowing all the way across out of Tennessee and up in Kentucky now.
Is it?
Yeah, buddy.
We had a little bit of snow flurry. It was real fine. It lasted about 2 seconds, and that's it. It just got cold. It's 28 degrees now.
Yeah, I hadn't. it's 31. He had been 31 for about 2 hours now. But yeah, it snowed and ice for about hour or so here. It didn't stick because the ground was still warm, you know. But it
Yeah.
came down. It came down quite a while here.
Yeah, all that rain that we got for all night and all day, we got 8 inches of rain. Kind of went south of us, and then the cold air come in and caught it. By the time it got to you guys, it switched over to snow.
Yeah. We didn't get that much rain, but we're gonna get it. All that water's coming down here.
Oh yeah.
That was drop
Yep.
of it. I looked at the gauge. I think we're at 24 feet now. It's going to 32. You got 8
Oh,
feet.
it's fixing to get worse on you down there on that Mississippi River because
Yeah.
you're gonna catch all of ours, and plus what we catch up, ours comes from up north.
Right.
And when we catch it, ours is gonna catch up with ours and run right down to where you guys are at.
Oh yeah. Plus we get to Arkansas down here too. See.
Yep.
Whatever it does in Oklahoma and well all the way to the Rocky Mountains. Whatever it does out there, all of it comes down here.
Oh yeah.
Arkansas and the Missouri.
Yeah, you get flooded up pretty good. I don't know what ours is right now. I'm hoping it's not real high, but I imagine it is.
Yeah, we Epic said it's so cold up there that his weather app is frozen.
Man, it's so cold right here that our Wi-Fi's shivering.
Well, it's not that killing cold here, but it is to us. 31 is cold to us. For sure. 23 degrees. They was fishing at 23 degrees.
Yeah, I know. Danny Stone wants to go out fishing in the morning. He said, I'll be over by 8 o'clock. It's going to be cold.
You better be out that wind.
I'm hoping there's no wind blowing.
Well, I'd be looking at the weather forecast. Don't you think that'd be a good idea?
Oh, yeah, I will in the morning. And then I'll get up way before he will. And I'll look at it in the morning. If I ain't going, I'll send him a text, but it's too cold for me.
Yeah. It may be time to do like DMV does and get you one of them little tents. One of them,
Yeah.
You know, that thing he sets up.
Find a good flat spot, put up a little teepee tent with holes in it, and put your heater in, and have your post to get out of the hole.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know. I've been fishing up around here when there's snow on the ground and some of the water is frozen. You just had to find a hole out there to throw it in and set the chair in the snow and fish for. But
well, I don't know what the coldest I ever fished in, but I fished several times where the water was freezing on the line, you know, on the fishing on the line. But now I don't remember how cold it was. It wasn't no 23 degrees. I ain't going out there when it's that cold.
well, I've been crop fishing on our lake up here in the winter, and was throwing out a jig, and I was slowly just bopping it up and down like it's here, reeling it in.
Yeah.
That jig, and then about every cast I had to sit there and take my pole and beat it on the rail to knock the ice off the pole to start to float back out there.
I don't do that kind of stuff no more. It's too cold for me.
Yeah, but you catch some big crappie though when it's like that.
When it's like that, that's time to be eating big crappie, not catching big crappie.
I gotta catch them to eat them.
There you go. You know, I've caught some crappie, but I wasn't crappie fishing. I was fishing with crickets one time, trying to find a place to catch some brim to carry the family the next day. And I caught 12 of the biggest crappie I ever saw, and didn't catch a single brim. And so the next day, when I was going to carry them fishing, all three of them had a pole, and I was sitting on the back of the boat back there on the back seat. I had a pair of those cotton gloves with the little black tar on them. You know what I'm talking about? Old
Yeah.
white glove with the fillet knife and the cutting board, and I was just gonna fillet them, as they caught them. And they didn't catch a single crappie. The same spot. It was all, and they caught a pile of brim, but we didn't catch a single crappie. And I don't know too much about pole fishing. I've caught a few brim through the years, but I've never been crappie fishing. Never been crappie fishing. Well, I went one time with a fella, and that really wasn't crappie fishing. We were trolling, and he caught a crappie, and it was a small one. It wasn't very big, and he took a little gold hook and hooked in his top fin, blew up a balloon. You ever seen him do that?
Yeah.
And turn him loose and let him go back to the school. And we just went around and around that school, picking up crappie out in the middle of the lake. Tied a little line to him, about 15, 20 feet of little old monofilament. And that crappie went right straight back in the school. And we just fished around that balloon with a trolling motor. And he wore them out.
Yeah, we've done that. After we got done a spot, we'd pick that crappie up out of there. If it was a keeper, we'd throw it in the cooler. If it didn't, we unhooked it, turned it back loose. We sat there and watched that. Well, we didn't use a balloon. We used one of the big round styrofoam orange floaters.
Right.
And we had about 8 foot of line with no hook. No sinker, just put the hook right behind his dorsal fin on top a little bit.
Right.
Ease him back down in there, and you can see him take off. All of a sudden, see that floater go.
Well,
get over a little ways, then stop.
Is that legal? I didn't think it would be, and I think that's the reason he used a balloon so he could pop it. It didn't seem legal, but I don't know. I was just with him.
Well, up there on our lake up there, if somebody's seen a floater in the water, they think somebody broke off or something.
Right. Well, that's true. Yeah. I can see that. I was somewhere. Oh, I was up in Arkansas at my son's house early this week. And we were over there around Lake Conway at a spillway that drains Lake Conway. And it was 2 young fellas out there wading in that water, picking up corks and hooks, and cutting. They were getting all the monofilament. I got to give them that. They were taking all the monofilament, but they were cutting the hooks off and putting them in a little jar, and the lead that's clamped on the weight, put it in a jar, and all the floats they putting in their pocket. And they were steady getting that stuff. I guess people hang in those rocks and break off when the water's up a little bit, and they were out there getting them. They wasn't gonna have to buy no tackle. Might have to buy a little line, but they were getting plenty of hooks and weights and corks to fish with.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty sharp.
Yeah, when I go to Kentucky up there and skipjack kind of slow down just for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll put the pole down and rest, and I'll start looking for sinkers, and I'll find them like this right here. I find them this size right here, 10. This is a 10 ounce. I find them up all the way up to a pound.
That's a go.
And I'm gonna melt it down and make some flat river sinkers.
Okay. All right.
That 10 ounce should make me a couple good little 5 ounce.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
But I go through there and I'd pick up handfuls.
Yeah.
I'd be sitting there skipjack fishing, look down, and there's 2 or 3 right down there by my feet in the water, not about that deep, and I had to get down there and fish them out.
Fish them out there in those rocks, down in a little gray rock.
Oh yeah.
They do a lot. What kind
of
rocks are those? What are those rocks? What kind of rocks are those little that revetment that's on that river, on the Mississippi River? What is that stuff?
Oh, I can't think of the name of it.
It ain't granite.
No, it's just it's like uh oh heck, it's not limestone. It's see, now you got me all messed up. I used to know what it was. Anyway, you can't build a fire on it because if you do, it'll start popping and exploding the tops off of it.
Yeah, it's got water in it, but it ain't sandstone. It's not limestone. Some kind of hard rock. Yeah, I don't do gold.
We call them a flake rock because you can take it, hit it just right, and they'll split a perfect line right down.
Is it slate?
And,
oh, it ain't slate.
No.
Oh, hey, what is that? What is that revetment made out of, Epic? Do you know? What's the name of that rock? That old big gray rock. Epic might know.
I have found some that's had quartz veins in it.
Yep. Some of it will have quartz in it. Yeah, you're right. Where do they mine it? Do you know? You got to be up north somewhere.
I have no idea. I know over Kentucky right now, they're busting it out of the side of there's a rock quarry over there, and they've been blowing it up over there.
Well, I've seen tons of it come down that Mississippi River through the years on barges, so
yep,
it's always coming down. I don't never see any going up, so
got
to be coming from up north somewhere. But I never have. It ain't granite. It is not limestone, and it ain't sandstone. I just call it gray rock. I don't know what the heck it is.
That's what we call it, that or a flake rock. Not slate, but flake with an F.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when that stone gets hot, it'll start flaking off.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Slate. I don't know. Slate. I don't know what kind of rocks it is.
I found some with some with quartz in it, and I took it and busted them open with a hammer right there because it's really easy to break that rock. Just to get the quartz line out of it and bring it home and crush it up, see if there's any gold in it.
Well, you know, have you ever walked along the edge of that river and seen all that black sand that floats along the very inch of the river? Well, you know, black sand is supposed to carry gold.
Yeah. We got a bunch of that here.
Yeah, it's a world of black sand out there on that river. But I ain't never seen any gold.
I ain't neither.
Well, you know, there's a world of steamboats that have been sunk out there back in the day that were loaded with money. Silver and gold.
Well, here in the Madrid, there's a place there on the river. They got some old cannons set up, and that's where they had shot some of the Confederate ships that went by, and they sunk them out there in the river. And years ago, divers tried to get out there and find them. The currents were so strong they couldn't get down there and do nothing. They couldn't get down very deep because the current's just too strong. They couldn't. When they'd go down the water, they'd wind up way downriver.
That's the reason them boys that dive out there working on the bottom of them towboats, that's the reason they make the big money too. Shale? No, it ain't. Epic. You've seen 100,000 rock dikes up there on that river. I know y'all got rock dikes up there. What's the rock dikes made out of?
I always call it just gray stone.
It's just the same stuff. All of them down that river made out of the same stuff. It's rocks, gray rock. The dikes, the stuff on the banks to keep them from eroding. Yeah, those boys that dive out there on that river, they make mega bucks, boy.
Oh, I've got for the bars company here in Crowsville. I used to work for them. Worked for them 10 years. I had to get down in that river on the side, and I had to have a big old magnet belt with magnets and stick to the side of it.
Yeah.
And which I didn't have to have the full respirator because I only had to be down to water about waist deep
I got
to reach what I needed. And because I was welding about that far above the water line.
Yeah.
And couldn't get it from the boat. You had to be on the barge so you can move with that barge because the boat would move up.
Yeah.
And they had ropes tied to me. Had 2 boats sitting out there tied to me just in case. And I was sitting up there like this here with life vest on trying to weld this thing. And when I got done, they tightened the lines up and they turned the magnets off. It released me and they pulled me right up. So, but that's the first time I've ever been at Mississippi River like that.
That's it.
I told them I wasn't doing it anymore, as I could feel that water having my legs, kicking my legs out from under me.
Yeah. Trying to, yeah.
Water stout.
Epic says that stuff is sedimentary limestone. It's gray, isn't it, Epic? Is it gray? I'm sure it is.
They're busting that stuff out of the side of the hills up there, other side of Calvert City, before you get to Barkley Dam. Because we'll be sitting there. They got like restaurants on one side, they got quarry on the other side, and they'll have sirens going off, and they'll come out with trucks and police will show up and they'll block the road, the 4 lanes off down on each side.
When they've been to blast.
And then that way, when we was inside that barbecue place there, they made us get up under the tables and stuff. They said they're fixing to blast, and boy, when they blasted, boy, just you look out there, you see them about a cloud of smoke out there.
Right. You know what? Up in Flagstone, also called Flagstone. I know the Ozarks has got a lot of that old gray rock sticking out of the jags on it. I see it down around Little Rock, and I see it in several places. I don't know if they got a big whole lot of it, but they got a whole lot of it somewhere up there because it's a mini ton of it come down that river.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got to see that one up there in Kentucky. They got piles of it, huge piles of it. They got a big fence up, and they dug on the other side of the hill. On top of the hill, you can see some buildings. You see big piles of it.
Yeah.
And you can see over half that. It's like a mountain right there, and over half of it's gone. Where they've been.
Yeah.
The top half is red clay.
Okay.
And so they got to remove all that, and they get down there at that heavy stone, and they start blowing and jackhammering, and
they grade it out too, and they buy it in different grades.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see a barge load of it with red big, and then you'll see a barge load that's all like that. But you know, when they build those dikes, they put that big stuff in the bottom of the river, and as they come up, it's smaller, and then they cap it off with big stuff again. I guess for the weight, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we got some right here that need to be rebuilt back up. The floods about washed them down a little bit.
That's what they're doing down. They've been working all summer down here around Greenville. A company been capping off a bunch of the rock dikes down here.
I hope they head this way.
Quartzite, years down
Back
here.
when I was younger, when I was 18 to 20 years old, I used to walk. Some of them things are half a mile.
Oh yeah.
And I'd walk carrying 2 poles, bait, all tackle box, all the way down in rocks to the very end, to sit there on that very end just to catch huge catfish. And then I'd keep a couple of them, had to drag a couple of them monsters back with me right down in rocks. It's like this.
That's right. And half of them are loose and rolling. Yeah, I have too. I won't do it again though. No way would I walk out on the end of one of them. Not again.
Get in the boat, go around the end, get on the calm side.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Danny the other day. I've caught a lot of good fish on the top side of those dikes before. In that stacked water.
Oh, yeah. I think boys one day, coming down, I seen them out there fishing that morning at the very end of it, Rock Dyke. And I was fishing off the bank in this deep hole. And I wasn't catching nothing but some channel cats, but they was like good 8, 9, 10 pound channel cats.
Right.
And back in, I kept at least 4 of them to take home. So Mama, we clean them and Mama cook them up. I looked down that Rock Dyke and them 2 guys was coming down through there. They had a big long driftwood pole and had 6 catfish on there, and they was dragging the ground. They had the pole on their shoulders walking down them rocks. And these old boys had to be 6'6", 6'9". These 2 big old guys.
Yeah.
And them catfish was heads were on their shoulders on that pole. They had 2 the gills, and the tails were dragging the ground.
And it caught some good fish.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They said they fish out there every day.
There's been a lot of fish caught off the end of those dikes through the years.
Oh yeah.
We didn't put Epic. Epic got him an assignment. Now he's gonna find out what the name of those rocks are. He done come up with about 5 different names.
I used to know the name of them because we've handled them before.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago. I couldn't tell you the name now. All I know is that they're real easy to bust.
Is that what you call it, Epic, in the push? I call it stack water in the push. That's a good name for it. Yeah. Been a lot of, I used to like, in fact, that fish in my avatar I caught on the upside of a dike in about 12, 14 foot of water. He must have just been laying there, and it was a mud bar, a mud bank. He must have just been laying there waiting on a fish to cause something to come by. I must have thrown it right in his mouth. But he bit as soon as I threw it in there.
There's a place I like to get you in a boat down here in Crowsville. And when it warms up, I love to get you into it and get in the boat and just let your poles just hang off the boat, drift so far off the bottom. You won't even hardly move with the boat. You just drift real slow. And I like to see if you can get one of them poles out of that rod holder with one of them catfish hits.
Oh, I know. It's tough.
That joker all of a sudden it'd be straight, and all of a sudden that pole be going out the float, be straight, all of a sudden that pole be like that.
That's right. That's exactly.
You just can't hardly get that pole out of that pole holder, boy.
Exactly.
To get that drag off.
Yeah.
I've hung some big ones, but I couldn't get them over the boat to get off, but I've hung some big ones down there.
Yeah, it's have you ever got behind one of those dikes in the eddy, in that big eddy behind those dikes, and drifted in there and just bumped the bottom? That's you can catch fish doing it. You can catch some good fish doing that.
Oh yeah, because I've seen them when they're dry, and there's some deep holes out there in their dunes out there.
Scour holes and all that. Yep. Yeah.
Caught a bunch of eels out there too in that calmer water.
I wonder that you said eels?
Eel?
I wonder is that the same eel they use up there on the Potomac?
Oh, I don't know. Ours got teeth. I mean, they got.
And they're kind of greenish color too.
Yeah, greenish, yellowish green. Yeah. When you first look at one, you think it was a snake, but after it got on up, you noticed it was an eel.
Okay, Melissa. See you later. Thank you. Do you know what you use to handle those eels with? Keep them from getting away from you when you're fooling with them.
Handle with my hands.
It works like a charm. A brown.
What does?
A brown sack.
Brown sack.
Just a plain old brown grocery sack. And you can hold them, cut them up, do whatever you want to with them.
Yeah.
you know, you can grip them, and them things, they, you know, you can feel the strength in them with just holding one of them. But with a brown sack, you can hold.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
It looks like I'm being paged.
Joey trying to start some mess now.
Well, Mr. Adams, I'm gonna get off here. I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, I think she's finna pick on Epic. Appreciate you coming up, Rusty.
All right, you take care.
See you later, bud. All right. Anybody else wants to come up here? This is the time, cause I'm gonna pop this in here one more time. And see if anybody else wants to drop in for a few minutes. Because I've been going for 2.5 hours, and that's pretty long time for me. American Eagle, yeah. Mm. You better watch it, Tim. Somebody's trolling you. Eating pizza. Yeah. I don't see how to do all this. Don't see how to do it. Let's see. What kind of pizza? Let's see. What kind of pizza? Let's see. What kind of pizza? Uh-oh. I'm probably fixing to cause some trouble here. I didn't know you was on, Steve, didn't you? Ah, well, I don't know, Dale. I just wasn't anybody else on, and I'm bored, and I watched all the cowboy shows I could stand to watch for one day, so I decided I'd come on here. Hey, Denise. And I've been up for 2.5 hours, so I really wanted to see what kind of weather was scattered all around the country. And it seems to be quite a bit. Seems to be quite a bit. I know Tennessee and Kentucky, part of Kentucky getting hammered. Really hammered. Somebody else said, No, Epic. I don't. Not in the Mississippi River. I've well, I know where there's one in a smaller river down here. But in the Mississippi, they've dredged it and it's changed course so much. And the silt it silts in so bad that there's no way to, unless you're just lucky and stumble across it like those guys did over in Missouri. The river, it changes course so much. But what I was talking about on that epic was all the steamboats that went down back in the 1800s. This has always been my theory. You probably heard me say I metal detect a lot, and everybody wants to know if I ever found any gold or silver coins out there in the river metal detected, on the sandbars. No, I don't ever go out there. I hunt in the farm fields. But if a gold coin fell in the river 160 or 200 years ago, and it tumbled down that river, how far down that river would it have to go before it wasn't a coin anymore? It was, dissolved. Silver the same way. And you know what that river does to stuff. It sandblasts. So no, I never have gone out there looking for it. Now I have found a few artifacts out there looking for fossils. I've done a lot of fossil hunting and found a few artifacts fossil hunting, but they were, like iron, and they wasn't in very good shape, but you could tell what they were. But I never have even thought about looking for one of those shipwrecks out there in the river, in the big river. I even went so far back and built a dredge. I built a gold dredge out of a 5 horsepower engine with a 180 gallon just one of those regular little round plastic pumps. I built a device that goes on it that causes a suction of vacuum, Venturi principle. And I used to go to the swim beaches over here on the river and in the lakes and suck up all them gold rings and silver rings and necklaces and pocket watches. Wrist watches and sunglasses. I did that one for make 4 or 5 trips doing that. And that was just to get a hold of a little money. And it wasn't to find anything historical. That was just getting gold and silver and diamonds and rubies and that kind of stuff. I gave that dredge away. I put the motor on a garden tiller and gave the dredge away. Still got the garden tiller. Oh, well, Jody, they listening. And Ed's supposed to have a wrench too. Did she get a wrench? I thought I gave her a wrench. I give these wrenches to these ladies. That way they keep you men straight. They won't let. Oh, God. Look here, y'all. Y'all meet Johnny Small Pepper. He got to be the toughest man I know. Yeah, well, it's Buffalo female. Stone Age knife. I got a Stone Age knife I found. I don't have a spear point. I got a point, but it's not big enough to be a spear, I don't think. Yeah, I got all. Hey, Epic, my wife and I donated our collection to the museum up there in Memphis. You may have heard of the Pink Palace. It's the Memphis Museum Association or Society or something now. We donated 300 pieces to those folks up there, but been 15, 20 years ago. They came down here and got all that stuff. But now I've got my artifacts. I didn't give them any of those the knife or the 2 points I found. But Epic, I got something that I guarantee you, I bet you never seen one. You never in the world guess what it was. I didn't have but one. There's a camel's tooth. A camel. But we had a camel here in this part of the world back 10,000 years ago, right after the Ice Age. Pontoon Jody, you need to go watch some of his videos and watch him eat them hot peppers with no water, no milk, no ice cream, nothing. He just eats them. Yeah, those guys, I'm sure you got some books on all those fossils. I got them, and I couldn't identify. I looked at all the horse and all the cows. I looked at everything, and finally found the camel's tooth in that book, and that's what it was. And I laid it out there for those paleontologists that came here to the house, and it was 6 of them, and they all identified it as a camel's tooth. Yeah, that Johnny Small Pepper, he hurt me last night watching him eat that stuff. Woo! I don't see how he does it. Oh, be careful, Johnny. Be careful, Johnny. Oh boy. Still don't see how you eat those things. Lord have mercy. I just don't see how you can eat them. Not that many of them. Boy. Too easy to pass up. All right, Jody. Where are you, Jody? Annette, where are you? Y'all wanted moderators. Now you got them. Well, y'all need to go watch Johnny Small Pepper eat those things. Who'd you get? You didn't get anybody. They still up there. I know that's a troll. I can't see it. Okay then. I don't either, Johnny. Now you got to look at some of those videos he got up. Man. I think Epic gone after some fossils. He gonna show. I think that's what he said he was doing. He ran Epic off, I think, Jody. He got scared and ran off. I think he's going to get some fossils and artifacts he found in the river up there or somewhere up there. I guess he was in the river. Well, I don't guess I can see it, Dale. Oh, Lord, y'all. Yeah, I thought that's what he said. I'm missing my music, man. Oh, come on. Okay. There you are.
Hey, what's going on, Steve?
All right, man. How do I get you on full screen? That ain't
I don't
it.
know, but I don't know how to do it.
That's me. I was going to put you on full screen.
Okay.
No. I don't know how to do it. I guess that's going to have to be it. Oh, yeah, that's a nice one there.
Hold on here. I got to turn some lights on. Look at that one, Steve.
Yeah, I saw it.
That's the best one I ever
That's
found
beautiful.
right there.
That's high dollar right there.
Look at that. I mean, look at the detail. It's in good shape. It's got a little bitty. I mean, it happened when I was probably 20 or so. It got that little part knocked off of it. But yeah, this one's pretty. This one was in the Okaw River Valley in southern Illinois.
Okay, but it wasn't in the water.
No,
Oh, it was
it
in
was
the creek.
close. It was close. It was actually where they flooded Shelbyville Lake up there in mid-central Illinois on the Okaw River and the Kaskaskia River, and it was on the Okaw arm on my dad's mom's, so it'd be my grandmother's and great-grandmother's property. And I found that when I was a kid.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then I got this one, which I did not find, but this came off of my wife's property in northern Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was her grandfather that found this one. This is
Can y'all hold up, Epic? Can y'all see all that pretty good?
smooth granite.
Yeah.
That is basically, I'm not exact. You probably know more about it than I do. This was an axe of some sort.
Is that what they call an adze?
Yes. Well, no, it's not an adze because an adze would have been flat on the bottom.
One side, yeah.
Do that. This one here was an axe for cutting something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, they would have had they would have split the handle.
That's what I was going to ask you. You know, a lot of people say they split the handle. I think they had two sticks. One on each side and tied them top and bottom. It'd have been much stronger.
Yep.
Think about it. It would have been much stronger.
Yeah.
You know, if it had, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I believe it did, brother.
I'll start with the smallest one first. It's actually the best quality one. Look at that little dude.
Shark. That's a megalodon. A whatever they call that thing.
Yep. That's a megalodon. And that one's the prettiest one. This one is a little bit more gray, but look how big that one is.
Yeah, beautiful.
Man, this one's not as good looking as even of that, but look at the size of this thing.
Now those came out of the river, right?
Yeah. These came out of Florida, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got
it. Apalachicola.
Yeah. Man, those are monsters there. Golly.
Now look at this one though. You got this one, and then you got this one.
Yeah.
Look at that freak show.
Yes, indeed. That would have been a major leg removal.
This one, I mean, they say that megalodons ate other megalodons and whales.
They could eat anything they wanted.
Yeah, they were full-grown whale eaters.
You know, we've only found one shark tooth in the Mississippi River, just one.
Yeah.
My son found it. He turned over a rock and it was laying under the rock.
Wow.
It's a little small.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like those big old things.
I mean, like this one?
Yeah.
That's still a pretty big shark tooth.
Well, sure it is.
That's bigger than a great white shark tooth.
Have you ever thought about having a jeweler make you a necklace out of one of them?
Well, the only tooth I thought about having that done with is my own tooth that got knocked out by the catfish. But yeah, I mean, I'd get this one done.
Yeah, one of the smaller ones. That'd be sharp. I've seen them before. Yeah.
I'm not much of a jewelry person, but
me either. But it would be neat to have. I wish all my stuff is put up so tight. I kept that camel's tooth.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. In fact, I was
that about 3 inches long?
Yeah, it's something like that, and it was wide, but it's got 3 tiers on it.
Yep.
4 tiers. It's 3 or 4 tiers up it. You know the grass eaters, how their teeth are made.
Yep.
Like
and
a cow or
sideways when they chew.
Yeah, but it's got 3 or 4 tiers that identified it as a camel.
Nice.
And that's the only way. I mean, that's how I knew it was. Now they knew what it was just because they professionals, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know what that that Pleistocene buffalo femur was until I took it to somebody at a show that knew what it was, and he's like, "Yeah, because I dug that out of a creek bank in about 1978 or 9."
Yeah.
And all that was showing, it was an entire just mud creek bank, and it was about 40 foot high, and I was at the creek level, and it just showed like one. It just looked like a rock. It was just like a rock. Yeah. And I was down there throwing stones, and I tried to get that thing out of there, and it just get bigger and bigger. And I think I worked on it for 4 days when I was like 10 years old, and finally got it out of there.
Finally, well, that's great. Yeah.
I can't find it now because I gave it to my youngest son, and he's done something with it. Who knows where it's at? But it's it's probably 25, 26 inches long.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And thick. It's really thick. It's not like a regular cow.
We find all ours during low water on the Mississippi on gravel bars.
Nice.
When the river gets down and it's wash gravel. It's not pea gravel, it's wash gravel. Got to be wash gravel.
Yep.
And we just walk, and you just walk with a flip stick, and you can find it.
So how many of them old Pepsi bottles and Pepsi cans and beer cans and all that?
Thousands.
They still got the old pull tab, and they're just down there. Yep.
But a lot of the bottles you find out there, and they got a sea glass. They call it sea glass. These people that break them up and make pictures out of them.
Okay.
You ever seen anybody do that?
Yeah.
Mosaic.
It's called what is that called? Mosaics,
and they'll make hummingbirds, with little pieces of glass and all. They call it sea glass, and that's the interesting thing out there when that water's down like that, and those pieces of bottles that you find that are old, they are worn to where you can't. You don't. If you didn't know there was a such thing as a glass bottle, you wouldn't even know what it was.
Yeah, because they're small and they're all worn. Yeah,
and it just sandblasts them and fogs them up, and they have that foggy look to them. Or
some of them are like a brown amber, and some of them are like that green. Those old mellow yellow bottles, those old beer bottles and stuff.
But those out there in the river are not worth saving. But unless you were gonna make pictures out of it, break it up and make.
Yeah. I've seen those moonshine bottles, those big, the big cider bottles with the
big crocks.
Well, some crock pot, but most of them are broke up, So sort of the bottles. The only thing that I see that survives out of those bigger jugs, and we've got some of them here, but is usually the handle, the round part, and just the neck.
Yeah, yeah. Now you find a world of pieces of crocks out there on the sandbars in the river, on those rock bars. You find a world of them, because I guess they were on all those boats that went down.
Yeah.
And they eventually get wedged in that gravel.
Hey, Steve, when you look off my deck, there's an Indian burial ground right within sight of my deck. And they farm over it, and there's a bunch of them. There's one here, and they were called the Osceola Indians, or Osceola, however you want to put it. They went from here to Wyoming, down along the Spoon River Valley, all the way down to where and they were transient. They didn't just stay in one area. They moved. They had wigwams and teepees or whatnot, and there's a whole history here. But I've looked on that mound. That stuff must be deep, because
you gotta have a probe.
There's nothing coming up.
You can find out with a probe real quick.
Well, I never have probed it.
But now you do know you got to do it at night.
Yeah.
There's places.
I could ask the farmer. I mean, he wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care, but there's some rules involved when you go to digging in Indian burial grounds. But
not in Stark County if they don't know about it. Hell, it's my shooting backdrop.
I've never done it. Yeah, let me answer real. Yeah, I think it is down real virtual, because I looked to see when I realized it was 8 o'clock. But yeah, I've been chasing that old stuff forever.
I thought you'd enjoy that because I haven't really. I mean, I went through periods where I looked for stuff and I found some stuff and I haven't found some stuff, and I just thought I'd share that with you because really
great.
that's the coolest stuff I got. That now the place that the Messis is the Permian era clam that I've got is buried in a piece of limestone about half the size of a basketball, and you can see it plain as day sticking up, huh?
Is it round?
Oh, the clam? Yeah. Well, it's just a rock, but the clam is stuck in the limestone, and you can even see the foot on it almost. And I'd have to take a picture of it. It's in the landscaping, but and I did find a bunch of plants. I was actually on a logging job one time. We were crossing a creek with a skidder because we were skidding logs across the creek, and the whole bottom part was it was limestone. It wasn't sandstone, but it kind of had a little bit of a grit to it. It wasn't real.
Mm-hmm.
It was made out of that blue clay. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what's done.
Basically, just all the pressure had gotten to it over the years, and then the river had exposed that bedrock. And so there was a layer that we kind of crumbled up a little bit. And once we started picking that stuff up after we did our job, here comes there's a couple of them with plants like this size. And I was looking for fish. I was looking for fish hard, but I never did find any. That's in my landscaping too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a world of stuff out there to do in that field, finding old stuff. I've been doing it for, I don't know, 50 years, I guess.
I bet you found a bunch of cool stuff.
Well, in 85, I started metal detecting. Before that, we were digging bottle dumps and all that kind of stuff, But, I've never been a big Indian artifact hunter. I've found a lot of artifacts just because I'm out there metal detecting.
Yeah.
But the metal detecting is a great hobby. In fact, that's what I'm fixing to start doing. I done packed my fishing poles up. I may fish a little bit, but I got to get back out and metal detect because I got some spots that, that need to be walked on.
Nice. Nice.
I don't know.
My kids got a metal detector for Christmas once, and they found out that our house used to have another barn on it because they found where they basically burnt and piled up the barn because there was all kinds of nails, of course, all kinds of horseshoes, ox shoes.
You got the little pork chop bones. The oxen shoes.
Yep.
You see, now that's strange because out of all my years of hunting, we've only found 2 oxen shoes down here. They didn't use ox; they must have used mules and horses.
Well, there was ox here because some of the Germans came here.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they still preferred oxes. Matter of fact, there's the pharmacy in town had a whole bunch of old newspaper articles where they talked about people's farms and the oxen, and they talked about wolves and having to shoot the wolves. Mm-hmm. They talked about, there was a few lynchings that they talked about in the paper, which I couldn't believe they had that around. And there was Indian problems that they talked about, and that was as late as when the town got founded, 1847 or so.
Well, that's early for my area. But we were all underwater. Only thing they farmed where I live in the early 1800s was the ridges. And you hear about the cotton plantations and all the antebellum days.
Yeah.
Well, those plantations may have been 200 yards wide, but they may have been a mile long. And they couldn't farm, but they farmed the edges of the river where the water flooded,
Yeah.
And left the high sandy banks. Every little river and bayou around here, even on the Misipy, all of the plantations were right along the river.
Yeah.
That's the reason so many of them have washed in the river. towns and homes.
Yeah.
The county I live in, this is the third county seat. The first two fell in the river.
Oh, jeez.
And the first 4 streets of the town I live in is in the river.
Yeah.
So, but they, these cotton plantations were narrow and long.
Gotcha.
With a great big home in the middle of it. But yeah, history has always been a fun thing to me. And then that metal detecting just came along with my history, liking history, and then the finding those fossils and all that. That's just all part of the history.
What kind of fossils do you find?
Deer, horses. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Deer, horses, armadillos, raccoons, alligators, 2 varieties of horses. We had the giant horses and the little bitty horses.
Yeah.
I mentioned alligator. Tapir. Tapirs.
Tapirs. Yeah. They're still alive down in South America.
They're still, but these, a lot of these animals that were here right after the Ice Age were giant animals compared to what's on the earth today. We had the buffalo, the bison. We had the big old round head, horns. Mastodons, the big elephants. Yep. We had the mastodons. Just about every animal that's here now we had, but it was a giant form of it, except for the horses. We had the little bitty horses.
Except for the short-faced bear and the cave lion and all that stuff.
And saber-toothed tiger. I don't know if we had any. I don't know if we had that kind of stuff or not. I really don't know.
We had. I don't know if saber-toothed tigers. I think the scientific name is Smilodon. I think we had one of their cousins.
I don't know.
The smaller version. I think I remember seeing on a TV show or whatever. It's been a long time since I talked about fossils and dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah. Well, the only ones I really know anything about are the ones I have actually found a fossil of,
Yeah.
And the teeth are the ones that the teeth are easy to identify.
If nothing else fossilizes, it's usually the teeth.
But I bet I had 100 teeth that I gave those people.
Oh, nice.
And they didn't want them all because I wasn't the only one donating the collection.
Yeah.
And I did tell them I wanted to keep a few samples, but they wanted me to keep that camel's tooth just because it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And they thought that it would be better in a personal collection than it would be up there because very few people would have one.
So as far as coins, have you found any gold coins and stuff like that?
I've only found one piece of gold, and it was off of a gold cufflink.
Okay.
It was a cap off of a gold, and it's old. It's old gold. It was at a Civil War site.
Yeah.
But I found my first trime last spring.
Your first what?
Trime, Trime.
Trime. What exactly is that?
It's a silver 3-cent piece.
Okay. Neato. That's pretty cool.
And it looks like play money.
Okay.
I mean, if I hadn't known what it was already, I would have thought I found some play money.
Uh-huh.
It's thin, just like play money, and it's little like play money. It's a little bitty thing. I got all that stuff here, but I don't know.
I've seen those at antique shows. Now that but I just didn't know what you call them. Little silver ones are a little bit about the size of a dime. Smaller
and thinner.
Okay.
And thinner.
Maybe
they got 3 pillars on one side of them. 3 pillars, like the pillars that hold up a building. Those kind of It's three of them on one side, and I think that's why they
Yep.
call them trine.
Roman pillars.
Roman pillars. That's what it looks like.
Yep,
And then the
I
other
have seen
side
them.
got all the writing in the stuff. But I think 1840 something is the earliest coins I found, but I got a pile of them up. Well, I say a pile. I got 15 or 20.
That's 20 more than I got.
Well,
I've never run a metal detector in my life.
well, it's a great hobby, especially for old folks.
Yeah, I'll bet. I see a lot of people doing it.
Yeah,
pretty
well,
cool.
you're in a good area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found the frame of a Navy Colt Civil War pistol, the frame,
Nice.
and it's got serial numbers on it and everything. It just I wouldn't even be able to tell you all the stuff I found.
The only other thing I found that was cool was an old 1850s wagon wheel hub. And it was buried a long way. It was probably lost in the creek because we had a creek called Cooper's Defeat, and I'm sure they crossed it. And it ended up in the bank, and it was basically the same story as that Pleistocene,
well, see, that would be a good place to metal detect.
It would, and you'd find a lot of metal. I don't know if you'd find anything.
It don't matter. It don't
Because
matter.
like even out in our yard, the kids found wagon parts and all kinds of stuff. Just an old axe head right in the front yard, about 6-7 inches deep. And I mean, it's an old axe head.
Well, those nails that they dug up, were they square nails or round nails?
Oh, they were square.
That's an old place. That's a good spot to hunt.
Yeah,
you just gotta have a good.
Well, it's buried under the new addition now.
Uh-oh. You got to have a good machine and be experienced to be able to pick through all that stuff. And
the kids did. I mean, shoot, they dug on that thing for a week. They had a 6-foot deep hole, about 10 feet across. Well, they found all kinds of stuff.
There's a world of people that think they want a metal detector until they get one.
I'll bet.
Because you've got to have patience, and you have to have the main thing about a metal detector. You got to have the best earphones that you can afford.
Yeah.
The best you can afford. And if that's $300, then you need to have a set of 300 because you got to be able to pick out the difference in those tones that different targets.
Now, Steve, you'd be able to tell me, are these things stone now? They feel
Are they what?
Are they stone? I mean, they're not the actual teeth; they're fossilized teeth.
Well, what happens? Whatever the mineral is that's prevalent, the calcium in there is replaced over a period of centuries by whatever the predominant mineral is in that water.
See how this one's black? See how this one's black and then the gray?
Yeah.
Two different rivers.
Two different types of predominant minerals. See.
Yes.
Well, that's stone.
Yes, and you know what? It's sharp, like it's a carbon copy. It's just amazing. The serrations are even still on it.
It hadn't tumbled. It hadn't rolled. It's been right there since the day it fell out of the shark's mouth. See.
Yep. This one too. I mean, this one's still got the serrations to it.
Right.
And you can even see I don't know if you can see it on there, but see the little striations?
I see them. Yeah. You can see
on that side, then you can see this one where it's bifurcated.
Yeah.
Right down the center.
Right. See, that stayed right where it fell out of that animal's mouth.
And you can even see the striations on whatever this stuff was, the keratin or whatever that's at the bottom.
Right, where it's stuck in its gum, in its jaw.
Yeah, yep. Pretty neat.
But see, our bone fossils down here are black. Because the river is predominantly iron, water.
I like that, the black colored.
And it turns to a dark, almost black.
Okay.
The bones. Now the teeth hold the same color. Okay. Pretty much that they were. Just like those teeth.
Yeah.
but the bones turn black. They turn this color. They turn this black right down there.
No,
That's
see,
probably
all this white stuff is limestone that had stuck to this thing, and I had to peel it off. And I didn't go much further because, you know, I didn't really get into it, but I just basically took a scraping instrument and kind of peeled it off there. But yeah, they're pretty cool.
I see Douglas talking about metal detecting the Trail of Tears.
The Trail of Tears? Awesome.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah. Yeah, he got a gold bug too. That's a good machine. But yeah, it's you know, those are the only two hobbies I ever had though. In the last years, I played a little golf.
I forgot. I've got a replica of the skull of the right before the Ice Age cats that we had around here. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good machine, that gold bug too. Yeah, ammonites. Yeah, we have those here too. In the creeks in northeast Mississippi.
All right, Steve.
Wow, look at that.
Now this is a replica, so you never know how true it is.
Well, now that came before the Ice Age ended?
Yes. Well,
or after the Ice Age?
It'd be the Pleistocene. So
that's right after the Ice Age. See?
Right.
That's the 10,000 years. That's as the ice was going.
I think this is a representative of before the Smilodon, which would be the the saber-toothed cats. This was like what was here before that. So it might be like 40,000 years.
Okay.
I'm not a serious expert. I just kind of liked it, and I talked to the person because I bought this at a it's one of those exhibits where the guy's got a bunch of real fossils, and then he sells a bunch of replicas. I couldn't afford the real fossils. Holy crap! They wanted more than a brand new car for it. So I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that replica. I'm like, yeah. He goes, it's real close.
Yeah, we gave that museum all our stuff, and they wouldn't tell me what it was worth, but they gave me the price list from the last 2 rock shows. That's where you sell that stuff, is at rock shows. And they gave me the price list, and it must have been 300 fossils on there listed and what they sold for, high dollar and bottom dollar.
Yeah,
the specimens that were at that particular rock show. So I went down through that list, and I picked the high dollar on every single one of them. I mean, hell, and we deducted that right off top of our taxes, and they never said a word. Because I donated it to the museum, see, and the IRS didn't question it.
Yeah. I got one more thing I want to show you. I forgot I even had.
Come on. I like that stuff. Now, Doug, if you find the right meteorite, you got money in the bank, buddy. If you find the right one.
Now, this comes from South America, and I do believe it's right around the Andes Mountains where the mountains had uplifted. And this is before the Triassic era, which 65, 70 million years ago.
Yeah.
And actually, it's before that. It's from the Ferniferous era, where most of our trees, we didn't even have conifers yet. We didn't have deciduous trees yet. They were all fern-like. And this is a side cut of a petrified Ferniferous.
Wow. Look at that.
And you can see what the rings are. See how they're not like finite rings?
Mm-mm.
You can see it better in here.
That's
See how they're
beautiful.
not like all round and stuff?
No,
They're just,
so they run this away.
yes, because and I talked to a botanist about this stuff before. He said that basically when the sun was coming up, they would move during the day because they're
Like a
floriferous. They
sunflower.
were giant trees. So they would
Yeah.
grow one day a little bit this way and one day a little bit this way and one day a little bit that way. Because I was wondering why they weren't real conical shaped.
So they were flexible this way, I
Yes,
guess.
very
So they
flexible.
follow the sun.
Yep. And this one's not even an overly big one. They have some that are like 40 inches across like this. But
Well,
this
now
is the only one I could get back in my suitcase.
Well, now, did you polish that, or did somebody?
No,
polish?
they did. I knew a guy that actually mines this stuff and sells it.
I got
He actually gave it to me because I was actually there for work. I wasn't even able to fish, but
okay.
I was considering making tables out of it, but it was too heavy, too expensive, and too whatever. Even the 40-inch pieces, I would have had to get it shipped in, by giant container and all that. But it is pretty cool stuff.
It's really cool, and it's old.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
great, man.
straight up stone.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much all my stuff that I got.
Well,
That's old and cool.
I enjoyed that. That's great, man. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
I do too.
But I'm still chasing it. As soon as this weather breaks, I'm gonna have to go give it a whirl for 2 or 3 days. They got all my fields rolled up and ready to plant next year, and it makes it tough hunting in those rows. You know how they put that big old tall row up.
Yep.
But
They do a lot of no-till here.
well, they do here too. But when they're gonna plant corn and cotton, they put it in a row because they furrow irrigate so much. They run the water down the middle.
Yep. Yeah.
So they put up a pretty good row so that over winter, when it, settles, it'll still be a good furrow for the water to run down. When
Nice.
they irrigate in the summertime.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Our irrigators are mechanical, and they're just big giant sprayers. And I mean, they might go a half a mile long, and they go in a big circle like they do out in Colorado. But we don't have irrigation everywhere. It's only like along the sandier rivers and stuff like that.
I'm gonna say, I would imagine 50% of the farmland here where I live is irrigated, and it's center pivots, and it's some of it you're familiar with how they farm rice?
Yep.
With the levees in it.
Yep.
Some farmers will just minimally level their land, and then they'll just go out and pull levees across it and
Gotcha.
pump water in the soybeans, and then let it go down and down and down, and then drain out the field. But the corn, and a lot of the corn and soybeans, it's furrow irrigated. They run that. Do y'all have poly pipe? What they call poly pipe up there? Big old long rows of white plastic pipe. Y'all don't do that?
No, but we have tile.
No.
Where you're at, they're trying to put water on the land. We up here are trying to take water off the land. So they tile it. And because there used to be, like back in the 70s and 80s, a whole lot of standing water around here. But they've since tiled it with that black plastic tube that they bury. It's got holes in it, and it'll all run right into the creeks instead of sitting on the ground.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story about tiles. In the slave days here, when I told you they farmed right along those creeks and rivers. Well, as the area got more populated and they brought more slaves in, they started clearing up on down into the swamp. Well, to get that water from the swamp off of the land, they dug big long ditches to the river, and they put tile in there. But they made their own tile, and way out there they'd have a box of French drains, basically.
Yep.
where they could drain that part of that land and it would go. So in 1987, I started coaching high school baseball.
Okay.
On the side. I had a full-time job.
And I was in high school in 1987.
Well, I had a senior in high school. But anyway, the school didn't have a baseball field. The baseball field was in the next town. And that's where we had to practice, and that's where we had to play home game and practice. And it's 7 miles, but still. So I told him, I said, look, and I worked right down the road on a farm, a research farm, and I spent years leveling land when I was in college, high school and college, pulling dirt buckets and surveying and doing all of that. I told him, I said, if y'all set aside some land out here, I can build us a baseball field. So they did. So, and I was 4 miles from where I worked, and I could use the equipment. So I built a baseball field.
Nice.
Then they put up the fences and the backstops and all, and planted the grass and hauled in dirt and made a big high end field, built a beautiful baseball field.
Yeah.
And so we go along there, and I'm doing this in the spring. And all of a sudden we have a rainy spell. So, and I even put underground drainage in my infield.
Mm-hmm.
I put down underground drainage that and little French drains where my infield would drain all the water and get it off. So to stop rain out games, you see. So we out there practicing, and I hit a fly ball out there to the outfielders. I was working the outfielders, and they were sloshing water around out there. And I said, what in the hell? What's wrong? And they said, Coach, there's water standing out here. I said, water standing? And it's bone dry, except it had some rain. But in the ground, it dried out. And I went out there, and it was water 4 or 5 inches deep. And we sitting right on the bank. We 350 yards from the bayou that runs down through there. Major bayou. Big, and some of the best farmland in the world. And so I got to looking, and it was out in that water, there was a hole that come out there in my field.
Uh-oh.
Just a hole. And I said, Lord. And so we took a pole in it, a flag, and when it dried up, I went out there with wheelbarrows. We went out there, and we put 7, 8 wheelbarrows of dirt down in that hole. I said, well, I don't know what's going on here. So, grass grew over and all. Well, we had another rainy spell the next year, and all of a sudden, that damn hole's out there in that outfield again.
Yep.
And I got a pipeline probe that I use in people call it treasure hunting, but it's just a probe that you use for finding stuff down in the ground, when you're trying to find whatever you're looking for. And I went out there and got to probing around, and I found that tile. It was down about 6 feet deep. And I hit it, and I moved, and I hit it, and then it dawned on me that that's what that was. That was a tile that was running into that river out there, that bayou. And when that water would get a certain level in that bayou, it was coming back out that tile and coming up out there in my field.
Yep.
My baseball field.
No back drain.
Yeah, it was just an old dug from the slave days. So we got a well driller to come out there, and I marked that thing with my probe, and he went back over close to the bayou as he could get it. And I had it marked. I probed that thing for over a quarter of a mile. And he got to the closest he could get to the creek, and he took his drill and drilled down in there and drilled a bunch of holes, and they poured concrete down in there.
Yep.
To try to keep that water from, and it solved the problem.
Nice.
But it was one of those old tiles that you're talking about that was put down back in the 1850s or 60s.
Them were clay tiles then, red clay.
They were made there on the plantation. They made their own bricks,
Yep.
And they
Well,
did all that.
this place was all clay tiled too. Like
Yeah.
the old, like all the house drains and all that, it was all clay tiled right out to the ditch. And I had to
red
redo
stuff.
that whole thing.
So when he drilled down in there, that old red tile stuff, some of it came up on his
Yep.
water drill, on the drill.
Yep.
But
They started shipping that all over on the railroad.
yeah. Don't you know it was in good shape when they got where it was going?
And you know what? It was still in good shape. That stuff lasts
still?
forever as long as you don't crush it or
Yeah.
I hit some when I was digging the poles for my deck. I know exactly what it was. I was like, oh, old drain tile. And the fields around here were full of them.
Yeah.
But they've all been collapsed, and so they've replaced them. And man, I'll tell you what, about every square mile of this place is tiled now.
Yeah, that's
right into the river.
I'm sure that's the way. I'm sure it was like that here, but like you said, through the years. But this particular one had held on for 170 years, I guess.
Yeah.
So they didn't settle that particular spot until 1837, 1838, I think.
Yeah.
And I know it would have been the late 1840s before they ever tiled it, because they were just farming that sandy ridge down through there.
Yeah.
But this is you can look it up on Google. You can Google Deer Creek in the Mississippi Delta, and it's our topsoil is over 200 feet deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our topsoil is about 8 feet deep here.
Yeah. We've got land, we've got fields that's been documented, cotton fields, since 1797.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You can look at a map, a Mississippi map, and find Nitayuma, Mississippi. It's nothing there but a house. And it's still in the same hands as the people that settled it in 1797.
So those people got lots of money if it's still in the same hands.
Oh,
nobody ever got poor enough to sell it.
How much money well, it was you've heard of Vicksburg, Mississippi before.
Yeah.
I guess. Vicksburg, Mississippi. You heard of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, Colonel John Vick came up and bought all this land back in the late 1700s, early 1790s. And this particular plantation is this particular place is where he decided he was going to raise his family.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Civil War came along, and Grant, in amongst trying to take Vicksburg, he stayed at this plantation, Nitayuma Plantation. All right, and the people that were there were the Vicks. And he had one son and 3 daughters. And one of the daughters married, and I don't remember his first name, but he was General Grant's chief surgeon. He was his doctor. He traveled with General Grant. His last name was Phelps, Phelps.
Okay.
After the war, Phelps came back and married one of these daughters. And he maintained that plantation. Now, he's not a Vic. She was a Vic. Mm-hmm. And it's still in the Phelps family.
Nice. And
I talked to the young kid, and his name is Vic Phelps. That's his name. He's Vic Phelps the 5th, I think.
Okay.
And just a little history there. But they've been farming that land in cotton since 1798, and it still raises 2 and 3 bales of acre cotton.
Wow.
That's how deep this topsoil is.
So the camel was the craziest thing that you found. What's the most numerous fossil that you find? Is it like alligator teeth or something like that?
Horse teeth. Horse teeth.
Okay.
Because we had 2 different kinds of horses. Yeah. Had the giant 30-hand high horses And then they had the little bitty horses that were like 8 hands high.
Okay.
Had 2 kinds of horses. And
Gotcha.
that's why you find so many horse teeth, I reckon.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But we find, you find a lot of bison teeth.
A lot of bison teeth.
Bison, and I have found quite a few mastodon teeth.
They were pretty big. I've seen
5 of them. Yeah, they big old teeth. They like top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never found any, but I've seen some that people have found on their properties.
Yeah.
Around here, digging a basement or digging a ditch or doing whatever, and they find a.
Well, see,
teeth. And around here they don't find tusks; they just find teeth.
I've only found 1 piece of ivory, and a quick test for ivory, if it's shaped like a tusk at all, is to dry your tongue, dry it, and stick it to it.
Okay.
And pull that piece off, and if it comes right off, it's not ivory. You'll know if it's ivory.
Okay.
So it'll feel like it's been to pull the skin off your teeth.
Huh.
And I've only found 1 piece, and I gave it away, and they said they thought it was off of it wasn't off, it was that bison with the mastodon. You know how it had those 2 big old teeth, things running out the front is the very end of it out there.
Yep. And mastodons weren't real curly. They just kind of went out and kind of went like that. Yeah.
Out and straight and up. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's out of all the walking, that's the only one I ever found was a little small piece of. I don't know, it's 4 or 5 inches long.
They got them things laying on the ground up in Alaska.
Everywhere. Yeah. I mean, that's no big deal up there for them to.
I know, but they're getting like $40,000 or $50,000 for them, and they're starting to become rare.
They're washing them out of the banks. They put their guns up there.
I've seen that in Siberia.
Yeah, blow it out.
Yep.
Water guns.
Yeah, the water guns are attached to jet outboards.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Same principle. Jet outboards.
Yeah, they just hook to the outflow. They got a little deal. They screw right onto that sucker, and they just run the motor. That's how they get that water pressure out there in Siberia.
Well, that's how they uncover these shipwrecks in Florida. They back that boat up and anchor it down some sort of way and use a prop wash to uncover those shallow shipwrecks. Yeah,
I would just assume they leave all the shipwrecks because I like fishing them for giant catfish.
Well, I mean in the salt water.
Yeah, the salt.
Where they looking for that gold, those gold coins. Yep. Oh yeah, man, they find that stuff down there on the Gold Coast all the time. Gold coins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
I'd never be the lucky guy to find it. It would cost me $1 million to find 10.
Me too. Me too, for sure. Well, boy, I think I'm finna shut this thing down. I've been going 3.5 hours. I appreciate you coming up. I enjoy it.
It's been a pleasure talking with you and sharing some stories.
Yeah, I like that. I like that old stuff.
Oh yeah, I do too. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is. I didn't know you did that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff people don't know I do. I've done a lot of things in my life, and catfishing's probably number one, pretty much. But I mean, I've gotten into a few things. There are a few things here and a few things there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I enjoy your catfishing videos when y'all your live streams. I really enjoy them when y'all out there. When y'all gonna get to go back?
You know how cold. I just got done telling y'all how cold it is up here. It's
I know it, but you're gonna have some breaks in the weather. What about your work schedule?
My work schedule is really what's holding me back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still doing 80, 100 hours a week, and it's varied, and I can't plan nothing.
Hey, you got to go back to Pennsylvania?
What's that?
Have you got to go back to Pennsylvania? Isn't that where you were?
Yeah, I might have to. I don't know yet, but I was just working on all the photography work that came from that that bunch. Because what I did up there is I draw up a bunch of designs, and then I took them to the Amish to have the Amish build them, and I received like a small royalty for that because I don't have a big enough facility to do that kind of stuff in that kind of bulk.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what happens is I got to teach them how to do it, teach them how to finish it. The product gets done, then it goes to a photo place, then the photo place that takes them, and then I have to do all the touch-ups and then figure out exactly, you know, and help with the marketing of it. And when it gets marketed, we'll see what happens. But it's kind of a long process, but you know, there's a light at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
I just don't know how long the tunnel will be.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go up and fish with Jody this summer. I want to get up there and catch some of those big flatheads.
That'll be nice.
I enjoy the last 3 years that I catfished from the boat. In 2010, 11, 12, and 13, I didn't do anything hardly but flathead fish.
Yeah, nice.
But 25 pounds was the biggest one I could ever get in the boat. I caught 2 of those. But you know, dang flathead are so finicky, man.
They are finicky, and the river's real big there. You got to cut the river into pieces, and then you got to look at it and say, okay, what time of year is it, and where am I going to contact these things? Because there's flatheads all over the river, but you'll have concentrations of them in certain areas where you can do real good, even down where you're at, even up where I'm at. You know, you can go to areas where the haunt is. And my rule of thumb, and I'm not saying it would be down there, but my rule of thumb from St. Louis up here, I don't fish anything deeper than 20 foot of water, and that puts me in
I don't
big flathead.
No, I don't fish that deep probably because I try to fish in the logs, the stick ups.
And that might be part of the problem too, because if it's too shallow and doesn't have enough current, it's going to hold a lot of fish from 25 and lower instead of 25 and bigger. So it's kind of like a porridge thing. Some too shallow, nah, too deep, nah. It's got to be just right for them, and that's where you'll find the big ones.
I figured out how to catch the big blues or where to find them.
Yeah,
but I wasn't after the flatheads long enough to figure out where the big ones hung out compared to where the average size was hung out.
Well, and everybody will tell you it's harder to catch a really giant flathead than a really giant.
Yeah. You know, really what I wanted to do, I wanted to catch a 50-pounder, and I would have been completely satisfied to catch a 50. But that is a big flathead.
Sean and I only caught a couple 50s this year and one a little over 50, and usually I catch some that usually a couple of them over 60 or 70, and that hadn't happened in a while. But then again, I'm not chasing them every day either like I used to.
Well, the biggest one I've seen down here, and I did see this fish, and it wasn't caught on rod and reel. It was caught on a sit hook. It was 88 pounds. And the reason I say I saw it.
I'm listening. I just got up close so I could hear you.
Oh, I don't know. The reason I say I saw it caught because I was fishing about 50 yards from the fella that came up there and pulled his line up out of the tree. Yeah, and I waited for him. He brought it. I said, "Damn, man, what a fish!" He said, "You got any scales?" And I said, "I got a set of 100-pound scale." And he pulled up there by me, and I had caught flatheads there, but I didn't catch an 88. I would have. I don't know. I'd died if I could even caught that fish by myself. I don't know, but he did. He got me in the boat, but it was on a. He had a willow tree sticking there, and he had the bait hanging off of a limb on that willow tree. I didn't even know it was there till he pulled up there. But I like fish.
Steve.
Okay, man.
Yep.
I enjoy it. See you later.
Good night, everybody.
Yep. All right, folks, I'm finna shut this thing down. I'm sure somebody else is bound to be on by now. Hey, David, me and Epic got to talking about relics. And we got off. I kind of ignored the chat. Lorraine, I sure miss David. Hey, man. Yeah, he's full of it. He got plenty of information now. He uses them 50-cent words too. No, it's more like dollar words. All right, y'all. I'm finna shut it down. See y'all later. Have a good night.